Hello there, and you are very welcome to our coverage of the SSE AIRTRICITY Under-17 National League Final between Shamrock Rovers and Bohemians from the UCD Bowl. My name is Jamie Moore. Thank you very much for joining us on FAI TV via the FAI YouTube channel. Just a couple of days before Christmas as well, so hope everybody is safe and well and really in the Christmas spirit. How strange and exciting to be talking about big football matches just a couple of days before Santa arrives. We'll be going live to the UCD Bowl in just a couple of minutes' time to join our commentary team of Oisin Langan and Conan Byrne. And we'll also preview the match in a second with the managers from both teams. We'll also be at the UCD Bowl tomorrow evening for the 7:30 kickoff in the Under-19 final. That's between Bohemians and St Patrick's Athletic. And then on Wednesday, we're off to Athlone Town Stadium for a 3 o'clock kickoff in the Women's Under-17 final. That's between Shamrock Rovers and Cork City. So plenty to play for on an exciting couple of nights ahead as the under-8 season draws to a close. And tonight's game should be a cracker between two of the best under-17 teams in the country. This is the 6th under-17 final, the first one back in 2015, where Shamrock Rovers beat St Patrick's Athletic in a thriller at Tallaght Stadium. That's the only time they've lifted this trophy. For Bohemians, they're hoping to lift their first under-17 league title tonight. So let's kick off our preview now. We'll have team news from the Bowl in just a few minutes' time. But first, let's check in with both managers. In a couple of minutes' time, we'll hear from the Bohemians boss, Derek Pender. But first, here's the Shamrock Rovers manager, Thomas Morgan.
It's a lead into Christmas week, as you said, but you wouldn't have seen that back in the early January when we started preparation for the start of the new year and the Under-17 league. So to be where we are at the end of the year, it's a great testament to everybody involved in, especially our club and every club involved, that we can get to finish the season off where we are at the end of the year. So really looking forward to Monday.
The last few weeks particularly, you mentioned the game against Cork, and then there's a big break and there's uncertainty, and then you find out that you are going to be able to finish. You had a very big win in Cove, and then the victory over Waterford the other night to secure the final. And not being able to play friendly games because the rules state that, you can't play friendlies, and maybe some in-house stuff was able to happen. But how did you find all that? And now it's like 3 games in a week or 3 games in 8 or 9 days leading up to the final. And for the lads themselves, given that they just have had so little actual competitive football this year, to get them up to scratch for these big matches,
Yeah, come here, listen, it is very difficult. They need to play more games, and we all know that, games is where everything happens. But regarding our squad, we have a fantastic squad of players up there, and my own group, we have 21 players that's in it. And it's obviously very, very difficult. But we try to use the squad as best we can. Looking at the last 3 games we played, Cork City, Cove Ramblers, and Waterford, I used 16 players. So that's what it's about. If I could use 18 or use 19, I would, because you want to get them all playing, and we have that level of player that's what we can use, and that's what we can do. But regarding keeping going, when they're playing, we just tell them this is the game. It's an important game. It's the next game, and sort of embrace it. As you said, but during our own period, on the club, we kept them ticking over, obviously through proper COVID guidelines as you do,
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be as professional as you can and just keep the players going, because it's been as you said already, it's been a mad year. But for me, it's been a learning year for everybody as well, especially from a training point of view. You're training a lot with the end game of not playing much, but I think if you keep ticking over long term, as you see in our last few games, it benefit us as a group. We feel strong, we feel fit, we feel ready, to keep going. So testament to the group.
Yeah, the win the other night against Waterford 1-0. I think Sam Curtis was the man that got the winner, and that was a very different match and test for your team in comparison to the game in Cove just a couple of days previous. And I'm sure, given the type of test you'll get off Bohemians in the final, to have had such a tight one against Waterford, and it going very, very close and being quite a tight game, I'm sure that has helped the lads get really ready for the final.
Yeah, as I said, the Cove game, as I said, your Cove Waterford was 2-1, So it was a very tight game. Cove played Cork City twice this year. Both games were quite close. I think Cove were leading at one stage. So to go down there and say that we got an early goal, went 1-0 up, and then as I said, we utilised our squad really, really well. From coach's point of view, and you can see by the end of the game we were still going strong because of the work we put in. And then the other night, same again, you're prepared in the same manner to Waterford, and Waterford, be fair to them, it's a different type of approach to the game. They're obviously, if they won, they were into the final as well. So it's just that little feel around it as well, Jamie. So to keep was fantastic for them the other night, but we never stopped doing what we did, and positively got another clean sheet, which was really good for the group. So yeah.
What comes to mind, Thomas, when I say Shamrock Rovers against Bohemians in a big football match?
Well, everybody knows what that's about. As I said, unfortunately never played in that as a player. Like, you know what I mean? I obviously played with Pats and Shells, but the assistant with me at the moment, Ed Saul, will tell you all about that. He's a big Shamrock Rovers fan, like, you know what I mean? And everybody knows Rovers Bowls, and the way they finished this season 1-2 in the Airtricity League just summons where both of them at, like, you know what I mean? And regarding myself playing underage football, it's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic day for the players. It's a Dublin derby as well. And if we're going to be honest, Jamie, it's the best two teams that I think is finished in the final, which is a fantastic testament to both clubs, as I said. And I think it's going to be a fantastic game, like, you know what I mean, as I said. And obviously Belfield Bowl, it's a neutral venue, grass, fantastic, nice big pitch, and let's go and enjoy the game, enjoy the occasion.
Yeah, under the floodlights as well, and I'm sure the players themselves are going to be so excited and ready for it as well. And like, building up the kickoff on Monday, I'm sure you won't have to say too much to them in terms of that. You'll give them their game plan and their tactic and their set pieces. But in terms of the last few minutes before, as a coach myself, I love the 5 or 6 minutes when they come in after a warm-up and they've got the music blaring and you can just look into their eyes and they just have this focus, and they probably won't be ever more focused than they will be at around 7:25 before kickoff against Bows.
Exactly, Jamie. And the thing with it is, Jamie, you know yourself, and everybody knows in football, finals don't come around much, like, and when you do, you got to grasp it, you got to enjoy it, and you got to enjoy the occasion as well. And obviously, then at the end, you want to win, like, you know what I mean? As you said, like, in our group this year, we have a fantastic group of players which range from 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. So we've got some under 15s, under 16, under 17s, a mixture of boys born 2003, 2004, 2005, which is really, really good for their development, which is important. And this is just another stepping stone for them to go and develop by getting these competitive games at a vital time and further their development going forward in the game, like, you know what I mean? So, as you said, regarding preparation, like, as you know, Dexter probably said the same. You do your work, you do your homework on the other team, and then you go out and play, and then just go and express yourselves and enjoy the game.
Yeah, for people watching who might, see results on social media or might see the odd highlight of a goal but haven't seen very much of Shamrock Rovers under 17s, Thomas, what can people watching expect from your team and your players?
Well, first of all, obviously, the boys, like, we can play different systems and so on, but we've got a good array of talents. A lot of boys that will be around the international team, who people are fully aware of, would have represented the country over the last few years and still do. So regarding ability, we've got a mix of everything. As I said, I spoke about the ages of them. I said we've got good strikers, we've got some midfielders that are good, technically good, and as you said, like, but as I said, it's all about development with them as well, and then give them a winning mentality as well. That, like, yeah, development is important, like, but I think when you're winning and you're successful as well, that brings the other side as well, Jamie. People can't underestimate that, like, you know what I mean? But regarding the group, we've got a fantastic group of players. I've been lucky enough to work with them since under 14s, under 15s, and now under 17s. And I can see them growing as sort of young boys at 13, 14, up to, say, 17 and so on. And long may continue.
So we're continuing our look ahead to the SSE AIRTRICITY Under 17 National League final at the UCD Bowl on Monday evening. It's Shamrock Rovers against Bohemians SKB. And I'm delighted to be joined by the Bohemians manager, Derek Pender. Derek, how are you?
Good, Jay. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks. Thanks a million for jumping on. I'm sure all the players and yourself and everybody at the club is very excited ahead of the big kickoff. What's your thoughts on the evening ahead against Shamrock Rovers?
Oh, yeah, all the lads are looking forward to it. It's been a tough year for them, obviously. Tough year for all the players in underage football and everybody involved. So it's a good reward that they get to play in the final now on Monday, and it's actually going ahead.
The season overall, with the way it was structured, there was the initial group phase and then the second elite phase, and some teams, for their own reasons, decided not to play in those. So how would you sum up the year overall in terms of, those initial games, the break, and then the second set of games, then another little break, and now into, what is a massive game for everybody involved on Monday?
Look, it's been a difficult year, obviously. It's been more difficult for the players because they're young kids at the end of the day, and all they want to do is play football. It's hard telling them, no, we can't train, no, there's no games. That's probably been the most difficult bit, in managing them and keeping their spirits up. But in fairness, the group have been very, very good. We've stuck together throughout the difficult year, and it's a great reward now that we have a big game to look forward to on Monday against Rovers, which is great for them.
What does Bohemians v Shamrock Rovers mean to you?
Well, as a player, I'm sure it's been well documented what it's like in the first team, stuff like that. And it's my first year as a manager, and it's under 17s and stuff like that. But it is what it is. The game, the title of the game, it never changes. I don't think it should change what age level you're at. So I'm sure there'll be a 40 encounter, and it'll be a good encounter. They've got a very, very good group of players as well there. So it'll be a good game.
Yeah, when you were the Bows captain, I'm sure you didn't need too much extra motivation from your manager in the dressing room an hour and a half before you were about to go and play Shamrock Rovers. Now that you're in the other camp and you are the manager, what will the lads need, or will they need anything at all in terms of, obviously you'll give them a game plan and the tactics and stuff, but in terms of just, it's a final, it's a huge game and it's the derby, and I'm sure, given you've gone from being the player sitting listening to the manager and now the manager trying to get the lads just the last words in their ear before the big kickoff.
Yeah, well, look, you can have your words and you can say whatever it is, but like the lads themselves they're very driven and very motivated group themselves. I've found that with them this year. Like they've been a great help to me, obviously in my first year of managing, and they don't need really much motivation when they're playing anybody. It's important that they go out and stick to the game plan and do what they've been doing all year. Obviously, it's a final. I don't think any team, regardless of who you're playing against, needs any extra motivation.
Yeah, it's just such a, if you were to look at the start of the season and you were to write down on paper what the biggest final might be, you would have a Dublin derby of some sort involved in it, and the fact that it is Shamrock Rovers against Bows in Dublin at the UCD Bowl as well. Understand the pitch is in really good condition. There hasn't been rugby on it recently. It's been live streamed for people who can't get to the game. I think it's just one parent allowed per player because of the COVID regulations. So it's a real nice end for the players, hopefully.
Yeah, it is, and it's great that it is getting live streamed for the people that can't be there, because there's plenty of interest in the game. You know, saying it to the lads this morning, it's not nice telling the lads, the only young lads, obviously, that only one of their parents can come to the game. I'm sure their parents are disappointed about it as well, but it's great that there's a bit of coverage on it, and hopefully there's plenty of people watching, and it's a good showcase for them watching.
Yeah, it's a shame for the young lads, and you know, unfortunately, it is the way it is, and the rules are the rules which have to be followed. But the underage finals over the years, I'm sure you would have went to them when you were still a player. You would get, you know, for that game on Monday night, there would be probably 2,000-3,000 people possibly at the game. So for the players, it's quite disappointing, but I'm sure they'll all just want to make their families and their friends proud. And if that's what we've all had to do in the last 6-7 months, is do some stuff virtually like this, and wherever the people will be watching the game, they'll still be cheering the team on, and I'm sure your players will know that.
Oh, 100%. They all know that. I'm sure they're getting plenty of texts. They're getting tormented about who can go, and I'm sure their parents are fighting with each other now today about who's deciding on who's going to the game. So they'll know there's plenty of interest in it. It's a Rovers Bows final, like you said, it's probably the biggest final that if you could have picked at this stage for this year. So yeah, they'll be looking forward to it. They are really looking forward to it.
Your most recent game on Wednesday was a 2-0 victory at home to UCD, Derek. For people watching who are going to watch the game that might not necessarily be too in-depth in the under-17 league, what can people expect from your team and your players?
Look, the UCD game was a difficult game for us. You know, we had a couple of problems at the start of the game, but the lads went out and they done well. They won the game. They won it really professionally and kept a clean sheet. It's something that we've been trying to get them to do as well this year, is to try and keep clean and take pride in defending that side of the game, because they're very fiery and very explosive going forward. You know, and that's what they'll see on Monday night, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the Bohemians manager Derek Pender, and before him the Shamrock Rovers boss Thomas Morgan speaking to us here on FAI TV on the FAI YouTube channel as we get closer to kickoff in the SSE AIRTRICITY Under-17 National League final between Shamrock Rovers and Bohemians. We'll be over to the UCD Bowl in just a moment to join our commentary team of Oisín Langan and Conan Byrne. These two teams made it to the final, having come through the group phase and then the elite phase. In midweek, Shamrock Rovers secured a 1-0 victory over Waterford at Roadstone, while Bohemians were 2-0 winners over UCD. Two of the biggest clubs in the country. Shamrock Rovers going for their second ever Under-17 league title. Bohemians have been in the final a couple of times in recent years, but just haven't got over the line, so a big night for them as well. Extra time and penalties here at the Bowl, if needed, if things go that far, and what should be a really, really exciting match. If you're joining us on YouTube, you're very welcome to FAI TV. Please let people know the game is on and it's free. We're going to have replays. We're going to have 4 different camera angles, graphics, and we'll be staying on live after the game as well to watch the trophy lift and also catch up with the man of the match and the winning manager. So friends and family, aunties, uncles, grandparents, football fans in general of the League of Ireland, let them know in your WhatsApp groups, in your Facebook groups, on Twitter, that this game is online. Just search FAI TV on YouTube. You'll find it in full and for free. And it's time now to head to the UCD Bowl as the teams prepare to come onto the pitch and join our big match commentary team of Conan Byrne. But first, Oisín Langan.
Welcome along to the UCD Bowl for the SSE AIRTRICITY League Under-17 final. It is a Dublin derby. Shamrock Rovers taking on Bohemians. The weather not exactly playing ball. It is bucketing down. It is fairly cold, but Conan Byrne, the pitch is holding up. I had a walk on it before the match, and it's really, really solid underfoot.
It's ideal. Absolutely ideal conditions for a cup final between these two fantastic sides. Dominated the Under-17 league this season, and a match fitting for a cup final.
And I know it's underage, but it's still a Dublin derby, which adds a bit of spice, doesn't it?
Yeah, as Derek Pender said there, it doesn't matter what age group you're playing. It's a Shamrock Rovers against Bohemians, and if you're not up for a game between these two clubs as a friendly, surely in a cup final you have to be up for a game like this.
It's great for these kids, and we'll call them kids because they're 17 and under, that they've actually got to this stage. They get to play the final, because everyone has been denied so much this year, but you know, older people have we've got to have a bit of fun in our youth. We got to do the college thing, we got to do the school thing, we got to do the Debs thing. They have been denied so much, so it's so good that they've some level of normality and they get to do something that they love.
Absolutely, and a lot of credit has to go to the SSE AIRTRICITY League, the FAI, the clubs, the players, in order to make this happen. I do feel sorry for the under-13s and under-15s who haven't had their seasons completed, but having said that, it's great to see an under-17 cup final tonight and under-19s tomorrow night as well. Oisín,
talk to me about yourself when you were this age. You were saying that you got to the equivalent competition, semi-final, and not too many players that were in both teams played in the League of Ireland, whereas when we look at the team sheets tonight, and we'll get detail on them in just a moment, there's actually a number of players who've already featured in the SSE AIRTRICITY League.
Yeah, well, back in 2002 I was with Home Farm, and we got to the semi-finals of the All-Ireland. We were beaten by St. Joseph's, Joey's of Sallynoggin, and they got to the final and played Cherry Orchard. And just looking back on that team, those two teams in the final, there wasn't many players that went on to have a good career in the League of Ireland. Brendan Clark was one, James Hussey, the goalkeeper from Joey's, was another. Ian Marr was there as well. Apart from that, there's not many, and it just goes to show the pathway now that we have in this league, and it's an endorsement as well that it works. Look at the talent that's on show today, Oisín. The players that are playing at international level, that have captained their country, that are on the verge of going abroad, not just England but further afield to pursue a football career. And it's great to see it at under-17 final, the talent that's on show tonight. I'm really, really looking forward to the game.
Well, two players that you talked about there, I suppose, jump out. Killian Cahill, possibly on his way to Sheffield Wednesday, and Kevin Zeffy linked to Inter Milan. There's also immense talent on that Bows team as well, and the name that jumps off that team sheet for me is Evan Ferguson, who's already featured for what I'll call the adult team. Yes,
well, there's other players there that probably haven't got the recognition that probably they deserve at this level. Like Sam Curtis, he's on the bench tonight. Ben Curtis, his brother. Like, Sam is the youngest ever first team player, and he's absolutely superb. He played in the B team, captained Ireland at 13 years of age at under 15 level. It really is remarkable.
I was excited about getting a Sega Master System at 13, so that's quite the achievement to captain your country at that level.
Then you mentioned Kevin Zeffy, of course, and Kevin Zeffy he played in the Shamrock Rovers B team, 11 games. He scored 2 goals. He's probably, in my eyes, the best player in the country at his level, at this age group. He's absolutely he's a superstar in the making, and as you said, he's probably on the verge of a move to Inter Milan, which is an absolutely fantastic move for him.
And again, I know I've said it before, I know it's underage, but there is spice because it's a Dublin derby. There's extra spice for Zeffy because he is ex-Bows.
And that's the thing, there's a lot of players on both sides that have played for the other club. And I haven't mentioned many players from Bohemians, but like obviously we've mentioned Evan Ferguson. I think he's probably on his way to Brighton. He's another star in the making. But Gavin O'Brien, their captain, and also Colin Conroy, they've been nominated for under 16 Men's International Player of the Year. Didn't get the overall award, that went to Ben McCormack of St. Pat's, but there's 2 players there that are huge talents coming through the academy there at Bows St. Kevin's.
And you mentioned St. Pat's. They will be in action tomorrow in the under-19 final. You'll be able to watch that live here from the UCD Bowl on FAI TV. Let's talk about the weather. What kind of effect will that have on the game tonight?
I think it's going to make it a fantastic game. Both teams will want to get the ball down and play. Bows have this fiery temperament about them, and they'll get in the great surface for tackling. And really looking forward to the game. It's going to be ball played on the deck. It's going to be a wonderful game of football, and I'm really, really looking forward to it.
That's what they're fighting for, and those are the conditions they're fighting for it in. It is a horrific night, but these players, they're so technical. It will actually shine a light more on their skills than dull them, won't it? It will actually show. We'll see even more of them tonight because of that weather. Because if you can do it tonight, you can do it in any conditions.
Of course we will. Of course we will. This type of surface is going to suit both teams. Like the likes of Evan Caffrey. He was a great little footballer. He's a lifelong Rovers fan. He captained their under 15s. He's a ball boy sometimes for the first team at Tallaght Stadium. This is a dream for him to play in an under 17 cup final for his hometown club. It's for his hometown team, should I say? And it's a wonderful achievement. But there's stars on show. I said it earlier on. There's internationals. There's more than a dozen internationals in the lineups tonight. And it just goes to show, as I said, I'll go back to it probably a number of times this evening, the player pathway that is working in this country finally. As I said, when I played in this competition 18 years ago, 3 or 4 people made it into a League of Ireland. Already there's 13 or 14 players here that are international players. And they're not going away at 15, 16 anymore. They're staying in this country because the pathway is here for them. And it's a wonderful pathway.
Well, like so many other sporting events in 2020, particularly this half of 2020, there isn't much noise. And that's because there's a very limited amount of spectators allowed in this evening. There's a bit of a ripple of applause for the teams as they make their way out onto the pitch. It's Shamrock Rovers against Bohemians. And going in as much as we could gather information from the warm-up, Rovers were relatively loud, Bows were quite quiet.
Yes, that's what I noticed that from the warm-ups, Oisín, was that Shamrock Rovers were very it was a player-led warm-up. Players took the warm-up themselves. The coaches were just standing around making sure that everybody was doing what they were doing, but it was player-led. Whereas with Bohemians, it was very quiet. Maybe players are just getting a bit focused, want to G themselves up a little bit on the inside. That can happen, but it'll be interesting to see what start both sides make in this.
Well, as I was walking across the pitch while both sets of teams were doing their warm-ups, I heard it shouted from the Rovers side, no regrets lads, they won't want to leave anything behind them this evening. This is the SSE AIRTRICITY League under 17 final. It's not the end of the road for any of these players, it's just a mark along the road, and defeat tonight doesn't mean defeat for the rest of your career. It doesn't define any of these players in any way, shape or form, but for them it's a big night. They'll want to get their hands on the trophy. Of
course, footballers, they play to win, and that's it. They play to win the game, and if they're out there and saying, oh, it's for development,
that's for us to say, not for them. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
They're out there to win the game, and they'll be absolutely devastated if they don't.
And the manager is Thomas Morgan and Derek Pender. Thomas Morgan knows full well what success is at underage level. At World Youth Championship bronze medalist, was a superstar of Brian Kerr's team. He's assisted by Desi Baker, another man who is quite the talented player for Derek Pender, the manager of Bulls. He's also surrounded by people who know all about success in League of Ireland football and even beyond. The captains getting together in the middle of the pitch, Gavin O'Brien from Bohemians and Oisín Hand from Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, it's fascinating with the two managers. Like, as you say there, Thomas Morgan, he's got wonderful experience at youth team level, never played a game for Bows or Rovers. He was always a Pats or Shells man. Whereas if you look at Derek Pender, fully true and true Bohemians man, loved the occasion of a Bows Rovers game, and I'd love to have been in the dressing room 5 minutes before this game to see what he said to his players.
Good man to take a penalty as well, especially in these last game.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad
and
penalty.
To score it as well.
Yeah. Pity about the celebration though.
He's not bad in the commentary box himself as well. He worked with Stephen Doyle for Bohemians European game. They were so unlucky to lose, and one of the heroes of that game, of course, on his way to Huddersfield, and we wish him the very best of luck. Shamrock Rovers in the huddle. I wonder what is being said in that huddle right now.
Well, as I said in the warm-up, I was fascinated by it. These are young players, 15, 16, 17 years of age, and they took the warm-up themselves. It wasn't like the coaches were there, they lined everything up, but the players took the warm-up. And it was fascinating to hear the captain, Oisín Hand, giving instructions. And it wasn't just Oisín, it was other players as well, the likes of Kevin Zeffy and Conan Noonan. They were all talking amongst themselves, geeing each other up, and it was brilliant.
There's a bit of noise. They're coming to life now. Here we go. Shamrock Rovers against Bohemians. It's tasty at any stage of the season, at any level, in any venue, and it's no different tonight here in the UCD Bowl for the SSE AIRTRICITY League under 17 final. Bows against Rovers in a Dublin derby. It could go all the way to extra time and penalties. It has to end tonight. and it should be an interesting encounter. We're glad to have you with us, and we'd love to hear from you no matter where you're watching around the world. Lots of encouragement, lots of shouting, lots of noise. Our referee David Gallagher about to get us underway. Rovers playing from right to left in the second half. The ball is sent down the park by Evan Dunn. Bowes with some no-nonsense defending. No one wants to make a mistake early on. That's good pace shown on the wing. Roaming inside was Latifa. They couldn't quite find him. It does break. Oh, it's already a goal. It's sent into the back of the net brilliantly by Aaron Doran. Lovely finish. Broke to him. And Bohemians have got the dream start.
It wasn't great defending there by Shamrock Rovers, Oisin, and Aaron Dorn, who scored the first goal the other night, has come up with the goods very early on in this game. Not even 30 seconds on the clock. Long ball over the top. Great strength by Evan Ferguson to take the ball and put it in the stride of the on-rushing player. Ball across. Shamrock Rovers didn't deal with it, and Aaron Dorn was there to finish really, really calmly.
Lovely finish from Aaron Doran, and you can say an easy finish, but we've seen players in big games fluff their lines. He showed real nerves of steel there to absolutely bury it. Now, can Rovers respond? We know they have the talent. McGuinness was trying to get on it there, but it's going to go all the way back to Rhys Byrne.
Well, we talked about the warm-ups, didn't we? And we were saying that Bohemians were very, very quiet, but just goes to show that quietness was
It's always the quiet ones.
It's always the quiet ones, exactly.
I was talking to some of the Bohemians lads before the game. They said that Aaron Doran is a Portlaoise man. He's done the damage early on. Latifa doing some more if he possibly can. That's a good tackle. It's at the cost of a corner, but it would have been worse had Latifa got around his man.
It's a good play again by Evan Ferguson. He got the ball, sprayed it out wide to Latifa, tried to get by his man, but Evan Diore put it out for a corner.
He's strong and quick, like his brother Lido, who people might know from Dundalk and Longford. Doran, the goal scorer. Referee just being very clear early on. That's a good way to approach it. Here comes the corner from Doran. Cut out. It will go out for a throw to Bohemians.
Yeah, it was a poor delivery in by Aaron Dorner. You're expecting better. You have the big men up from the back. You're expecting to get a good ball in there. Has to beat the first man.
Gavin O'Brien, the captain, finds Latifa, goes inside, comes back to O'Brien. Lovely ball. Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson wins a throw as opposed to a corner. Because there's been so much talk for so long about Evan Ferguson, it's hard to believe he's still under 17, but I suppose that's what happens when you make your senior debut for the club at the age of 14.
He really is a wonderful talent, but look at the size of him.
Here he is again.
It's just a presence in that area.
Shamrock Rovers have given it away. Latifa, can he finish? Good block. Another corner conceded. I think it was Ben Curtis who got across. Yes, it was Ben Curtis. An important intervention.
Super defence. He had great acres of space to get the shot in, but a wonderful block by Ben Curtis there to put it out for a corner kick.
Last ditch defending from Ben Curtis, whose brother Sam is on the bench. Doran, better corner this time, flicked away. Can Shamrock Rovers go on the break? We know they have pace, we know they have strength. Here's Noonan. That's a poor ball though. Yet to settle into the game, that's not to say they won't. Chasing after the loose one is Gavin O'Brien. Out it goes, it will be a throw into Shamrock Rovers.
I just think Bohs have started the game really, really well, really positively. They've been on the front foot from the get-go. They've got the ball up to Evan Ferguson. He's held the ball up very, very well, and he's put balls out in wide areas, and they've got joy out of that.
I know that sometimes these things don't come across on TV, but it is a really miserable night, really tough conditions. That comes off the shins of Len O'Sullivan. It's out for a throw in to Shamrock Rovers. Thomas Morgan making himself heard. Intercepted. Jamie Mullins read that one really well.
Yes, it was a corner set piece worked on the training ground that didn't quite come off there. Jamie Mullins read it very, very well.
Mullins on it again. Wins the throw in. On this immaculate surface. What can they do from there? Mullins easily intercepted.
I think they're trying to expose this 3-5-2 formation that Shamrock Rovers are playing. Bohemians are getting the ball in the left channel, and they're trying to switch it over to Chris Latifa out on this side because he is in acres of space.
Abandiore. John Ryan came deep, the Limerick man, gave it back to Ben Curtis. Shamrock Rovers trying to use the width of the pitch. Well, a long ball created the Bulls' goal, so Shamrock Rovers were trying their luck, but there was a case of offside, I think. Or did it go out of play before it was struck? It's hard to tell from this angle.
Yeah, it's a throw in on the opposite side.
Out of play. Cian Byrne got to it. Little shove there, but the referee's playing on. Comes back into the path of Ben Curtis. Not much Killian Cahill could do about that goal. Comes from a very athletic family, if I can put it that way. Byrne on the slippery surface, those ones can be quite difficult to deal with, but he did well. Here's Latifa. Controlled that beautifully. Over the top it goes, but to no one in particular, and it's going to be shepherded back to goalkeeper Killian Cahill.
Yeah, it's just when you pass it back to a goalkeeper on this type of surface, you always try and put it to the sides of the goal because it could easily bobble, roll under your foot in these conditions.
Killian Cahill's dad competed in Atlanta 1960 Olympic Games, and his mother coached Derval O'Rourke. Beautiful through ball, but well read and well defended by Graham. $1,800 people watching us already. By all means, share the link if you know anyone who'd like a taste of a Dublin derby at Christmas time. I know people will say I should be saying the Dublin derby, but maybe it's just a tad disrespectful to St. Pat's and Shells to say this is the Dublin derby. But that's not an argument for right now.
Hype, I think
it's not an argument for right now. Good control under pressure there from Abandiore. Again, they try that low through ball. This time it was Oisin Hand, the captain, who's from County Kildare. People watching online in Russia, America and the UK. Glad to have you with us.
The position of Conroy and Byrne in the middle of the park has been excellent in this opening 8 or so minutes. They're breaking any play that's gone through the middle of this of when Shamrock Rovers are trying to play it up to the front two. They're breaking up the play really, really well.
Push up was the shout from Derek Pender. Doesn't feel that his team pressurised the defence enough. Here's Abandiore. Latifa got to him, but he rolled it back to Cahill. Just bounced away from the boot of Leddy, and it'll roll back to the goalkeeper Rhys Byrne. Interestingly enough, actually, Cian Moore, the substitute goalkeeper for Bulls tonight, is a former Shamrock Rovers player. As you say, Conan, there's a few players on either side who used to play for the opposition, if that makes sense.
Yes, there's a lot. There is a lot out there. Yep.
Abandiore. Ben Curtis has to track back to get there, but Abandiore does get there. Kevin Zeffy showing his footwork, a meaty enough challenge from Gavin O'Brien, but Abandiore gets away from him. Latifa wins it back. Can Bulls go on the counter attack? We know they can counter quickly. John Ryan getting a touch on it there. I beg your pardon, it was Cian Byrne.
I'm really impressed with Bohemians' press, Oisin, in this opening 10 minutes. It's really, really good, and they're not letting Shamrock Rovers settle into this game.
Really fast-paced game, isn't it?
Very, very well. Very, very good for opening 10 minutes, yes.
Well, it has flown by. The goal coming in the first minute, if you can believe, from Aaron Doran. And there he is on the ball again. Can they get the cross in? It's Doran trying to make his way through. Shamrock Rovers keep it alive. That can be dangerous. I was going to say passing it across your own goal. Well, they did it there, but in the lead up it was dangerous, and Latifa does well again.
He started the game very, very well, Chris, on this side. He's not giving Abandiore any chance, any time on the ball whatsoever.
Zeffy. That was risky by Zeffy. He did get away with it though. That looked like it was out, and it was, and it's a throw into Bohemians. Gavin O'Brien with the throw. It bounces in the box for Doran. Oh, it might be bundled in here. Oh, the keeper dives on it. I think it was Evan Ferguson who got a touch, and it just couldn't quite get the contact he needed, and Cahill rescues his team.
Yes, it was a throw in by Gavin O'Brien into Aaron Dorn. He put it across, but it was great defending by their captain, Usheen Hand.
Ferguson got something on it, but not enough, and the credit must go to Rovers for just getting there, getting around him, getting a touch on it. Just took the sting out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. Usheen, he done really, really well to get to block Evan Ferguson's goal bounce shot there.
Shamrock Rovers with the chance to create something here. Yet to have a chance in the game, but it is very, very, very early. Shielding it there was Cian Byrne. Jonathan Walters-esque. And that goes out of a Rovers player. It will be a throw into Bohemians. It's good to see in all areas of the pitch they're playing it around, they're passing it about, they're not just hoofing it.
Yes, and we talked about that at the start. That's not going to change. If they go 2-3-0 down, still not going to change. It's the way both teams play.
Ben Curtis had it, then lost it. Bohemians attacking with numbers, slid out by Doran to Evan Ferguson. Ferguson from a tight angle. Cahill can't get there. It's still alive. Cahill bravely on it despite the attentions of Aaron Doran. Well, that's a wasted opportunity for Bulls, but you have to give massive credit to Killian Cahill, the goalkeeper there. He was really, really, really brave. And of course, Abandiore, who got back and stopped it rolling in.
It was nearly a carbon copy of the first goal, the way Abandiore just managed to slide in, and luckily enough for him, Killian Cahill came to the rescue. But again, Bohemians were on 4-on-3 at the back there. They had a wonderful opportunity to score a second, and it just didn't work out. I thought maybe Aaron Dorn should have played in Chris Latifa on this side. Instead he went for Evan Ferguson, but his pass was a bit wide.
Well, you can see why Killian Cahill is linked to a few big clubs. Is this one going to get away from Len O'Sullivan? It might, and it does. Credit to Abandiore, who got back, and Cahill as well. The two of them combined stopped their team going 2-0 down.
Absolutely.
You nearly have to remind yourself at times that these are only 17, some of these players, and younger. They're physically quite big. They're playing at a pace that's frightening.
Yeah, but they're wonderful players, and as I said before the game, there's a lot of these are international players that are going to go on and receive more international honours at 17, 18 and 19 and further.
Into the middle it goes, and John Ryan. Plenty of numbers there for Bulls, and they deal with it, but that was well gathered by Evan Dunn. Gavin O'Brien. It was a risky enough ball, but it worked out. Here's Doran again. So impressive so far. And these are the dangerous ones, the ones kind of skipping across the wet surface back to the keeper, but Killian Cahill equal to it.
Yeah, Aaron Dorn has started the game very, very well. He's getting into lovely little pockets of space in between the lines, and he's using the ball really, really well.
And a big week of games on FAI TV. Don't forget, tomorrow night is the turn of the under-19, St. Pat's against Bulls. In a Dublin derby, another one. And then on Wednesday, we're in Athlone. Shamrock Rovers and Cork. That's the under-17 girls final, I think. 3 o'clock is the kick-off time for that. Cork City at senior grade reaching the FAI Cup final this year, but well beaten by Peamount, who came up with a deluge of goals in the second half.
Shamrock Rovers haven't started the game particularly well. Obviously they went the goal down, but even then their passing hasn't been up to scratch. They're trying to play this ball over the top to Kevin Zeffy a number of times in this opening 15 minutes, and it just hasn't worked out. Gavin O'Brien is defending really, really well. Is
that the danger sometimes when you have a player like Zeffy who has the beating of anyone he takes on, that you nearly try to go to him too much, you try too hard to get him into the game?
Absolutely, that's a very good point. Yes, and that's because he's the best player probably on the pitch overall. They probably will look for him, especially when they're 1-0 down and they're looking to get back into the game. They're looking for that creative spark, and Kevin is that player, along with Conan Noonan as well.
Mm-hmm. Goes to the feet of Jamie Mullins. You'll notice a small crowd on the far side. That is because at this age you are allowed to bring one parent, and that's why there's a bit more of a crowd than you might expect, considering we're in a situation where no fans are allowed to attend games. We're delighted to bring you this game, by the way.
Can you imagine the quarrels in the houses before coming to this game? Which parent was taking who?
I don't think either of my parents ever argued as to which one of them would get to go to one of my matches. You go was the argument. I took him the last time.
Well, I said there'd be fists in my house, I'd say.
Flung down the line, chasing after it there is Noonan. Just runs out of pitch. It's a bit patchy the last couple of minutes, slowed down a bit. I suppose that is to be expected. It is a cup final and it is in horrendous conditions. That rain has not slacked off, it hasn't lightened up. Pitch holding up really well. That's a brilliant weave through from Noonan. Just ran into numbers and Dara O'Reilly got there. It's quite obvious Evan Ferguson is the out ball, but that just had a little bit too much on it. Evan Dunn. No foul, says the referee. Latifa roaming down this right hand side. They do get it to him. He's covered by Abandiore. Goes inside. That's an awkward one for the keeper, who I'm not sure did he get a hand on that. The shot from Chris Conroy. Collie Conroy, I beg your pardon.
Yes, he opened his body really, really well there. Left foot strike. Great technique. Just wide of Killian Cowell's post.
Had it covered, to be fair, the goalkeeper.
He did. I think it was a yard or two wide, but showed great technique to open up his body to get the shot away.
Over the top of Doran on the chase after it now is Jamie Mullins. Sean Carey did really well there.
I think this is what Shamrock Rovers need now in the next couple of minutes, just to keep the ball. And as soon as I say that, it's a long ball down the field and they lose it again.
But they've got it back. Zeffy wants it, but it wasn't a good ball towards him, and Gavin O'Brien shields it back to the goalkeeper.
I just think they need to gain a bit of confidence in this game, Shamrock Rovers. And when they get the ball in around the back, keep it for a couple of minutes, get people on the ball, get people comfortable on the ball in these conditions, and then see where it takes them.
Abandiore. Here's Zeffy, who's already played for the Shamrock Rovers B team. Oh, that is risky. He got away with it first time, and Doran almost made them pay second time. But to be fair, Evan Dunn read the danger really well. Doran, though, hasn't given up on it. That's a fantastic play. And Bohemians get the decision.
And you can hear Derek Pender there going raving about Aaron Dorn. He's an excellent little footballer. He can play in the number 10 role, which he's playing today, but he can also play out wide. And he travels up with Collie Conroy to train, and from Portlaoise, I think we were told before the game. And it shows dedication at such a young age to be able to do that. I know people have been doing that for years, and John Ryan comes up from Limerick, and other players come from various parts of the country, but it just shows dedication, especially at a young age. And obviously a special thanks to the parents for being able to do that.
Latifa dispossessing Zeffy, but Bohemians have conceded the free kick. Not sure if you can hear it, but Thomas Morgan is, I was going to say barking instructions. He's not barking instructions. He's giving very clear instructions to his team.
I think it's needed. Oisin, being totally honest, they haven't started the game as I said before, and they just need to get a bit of confidence in themselves, and they might get this from the set piece.
We'll have to go again. You have to go on the whistle, says David Gallagher to Conan Noonan. Noonan tries something different this time. Headed away. Who's going to win the foot race? Very clever play from Oisin Hand. Just shielded it out. Made sure his team won the throw. Now here's Evan Dunn. Has a look up. That's not a particularly great defensive header, but Bohemians will get away with it and they pump it long, but Doran wasn't far enough up the park.
We haven't seen much of Michael Leddy, Oisin, in this opening 20 minutes. He's a player that's played for the B team. He's played 10 games and he scored 1 goal, and his goal was against Galway during John Caulfield's reign, where they were very close to getting a 1-1 draw. It would have been a great result for them. But yeah, we haven't seen him much in this game now in this opening 20 minutes or so. Love to see him getting on the ball and see what he can do. Here's
Zeffy, an exciting prospect. The Ronaldo style step overs, but kind of confused himself. Cleverly dealt with by Gavin O'Brien, but intercepted. Oh, that's a big hit there between Ben Curtis and Evan Ferguson. You'll feel that.
It just shows his strength, Evan Ferguson. I don't think there was a lot in it. It was just a coming together. But it was just that he's just so big and strong for his age. But it is a thunderous hit.
Well, they both went for it. Neither man held back. Shamrock Rovers get the free kick. Ferguson being spoken to by the referee. I don't think he's going to pick up a card. It's sensible refereeing by David Gallagher. Don't just kick it is the instruction from Thomas Morgan. Zeffy. Abindiore wants it back. Zeffy turning and twisting. John Ryan. Abindiore. Just gets away from Abindiore. Here's Ferguson. Conroy to Doran. Doran has plenty of options. Oh, almost threaded through. Looking to try and get it to feet was Jamie Mullins, but I think it might have been Ryan who intercepted. Zeffy. Pressurised by Latifa.
Bohemians will be very happy to see Kevin Zeffy getting the ball in their own half with his back to goal, and Gavin O'Brien has started this game really, really well. Coming up against Kevin Zeffy, Gavin O'Brien, he's an international. As I said before the game, he was nominated for Player of the Year at international level with under 16. He's been a Bows player Bows St Kevin's player his whole career, and he's doing a stellar job so far on Zeffy.
You can see though that Zeffy's getting more touches. He's growing into the game. It's only a matter of time before he sparks. Abindiore. Zeffy waiting for it. Comes back to Abindiore. That's aimed towards Zeffy, but it doesn't find the intended target.
He just needs to be a little bit tidier on the ball. Abindiore. He's given the ball away a couple of times in this opening 22 minutes. He just needs to be a little bit calmer when he gets it.
Ferguson to Latifa, comes back to Ferguson, bounces out of play. Throw into Bohemians though. Gavin O'Brien. Doran. Away from Grehan. Really composed ball. Len O'Sullivan coming forward and cutting back. Conroy. Grehan. Latifa was the aim, but Abindiore was waiting for it. Zeffy. Squeezes the ball to his teammate.
He's right. Thomas Morgan is screaming at his players to play forward because they had a great little opportunity to turn and get at the Bohemians defence, but John Ryan decided just to come back with it, and it gave Bows time to regroup.
Abindiore. Latifa closes him down, but he gets it to Zeffy, or I beg your pardon, that's not Zeffy, that's actually John Ryan. Rovers couldn't keep it in though. It's throw in, which is taken by Gavin O'Brien. Evan Ferguson. Comes from good stock, Evan Ferguson.
Yes, I played with his father.
How old does that make you feel?
Yeah.
When you're beginning to use that line.
Well, I'm still playing it, Oisin, so it's not too bad. Just about though.
Ball over the top. Evan Ferguson allows it to beat him, but in fairness, Ben Curtis did really well.
Yeah, he just clipped his ankles there. I think it was a legitimate free kick.
You'll squeeze a game in before lockdown tomorrow night, the Mid-Ulster Cup, playing against Armagh City, I believe.
Yes, we're playing against Armagh City in the Mid-Ulster Cup tomorrow, game before Christmas. So looking forward to that, yes.
Rhys Marshall has followed you up to the Irish League. He joined Glentoran. Ball over the top. Keeper read it really well. Smart goalkeeper by Rhys Byrne.
That's what you want from your goalkeeper, to come out like that, and rather than staying in his line, puts a lot of trust. Defenders will trust you a lot more when you do that.
Rhys Byrne. Oh, that's risky. He got away with it just about. It might work out well though. Here's Doran. Doran getting away from the defender. Evan Ferguson is in the middle. Ferguson! Oh, what a finish! Doran on the break, rolled it into Ferguson, who, with that very stylish back heel, sent it home.
It was fantastic by the goalkeeper. It all started from him. Gets the ball, great little ball out, up the line to Aaron Dorn. Aaron Dorn uses pace to get by the Oisin hand. Wonderful ball across, and there's Evan Ferguson. Wonderful finish. 2-0 Bohemians, 25 minutes gone, and it's nothing more than they deserve. They have been tremendous in this opening half so far.
Well, for Shamrock Rovers, they'll be frustrated that they were caught on the break like that.
Absolutely they will, but I have to say, as I said, it started from the goalkeeper. He had a wonderful ball out. I know you were saying it was a bit risky, but it was a great ball. And then Aaron Dorn again, we talked about him already, getting away from Oisin hand down that side, showed his pace to get away from him even further. Wonderful ball across, and a fantastic finish by Evan Ferguson.
This is the difference between you and I, Conan. I believe football should be played in the sky. You believe it should be played on the pitch. The goalkeeper believes that as well. It was a lovely ball, actually, when you look at it again.
It was a great ball. It really was.
Rovers,
chance now, though.
Can they make their way back into this game? Zeffy. This is the position you want to see him in. Nice ball. Bravely defended. Rebounds into the path of Jamie Mullins. Tried to find Evan Ferguson, but getting his foot on the ball there was Oisin hand.
Yeah, Darren McGuinness' strike there. It was certainly travelling. It was a very, very good block again by Sean Crehan.
Policing this one is Riley. Wasn't necessarily the clearance he was looking for. Shamrock Rovers tried to win it back, but commit the foul in the process.
Sean Crehan has been very, very good. Again, he's captained Ireland at underage, obviously, and he's playing above his age. He's another year at under 17s next year as well, and he's a wonderful talent at Bohemians defence.
Well, there's a lot of talent in this Rovers team. They are by no means done, but they are in trouble. Doran and Ferguson with the goals. Well won.
Bohemians' tactics have been very good. They have noticed that Rovers three at the back do play very, very narrow, and they have got it wide to Chris Latifa, and Aaron Dorn has got into great little pockets of space along with Evan Ferguson, and as we can see there, his hold up play is tremendous, so it brings people into play.
Well, they could go on the counter attack again. Here's Conroy. Ferguson's in front of him. Goes to Ferguson. Ferguson! And the reason I'm not saying anything is because I'm not sure if the keeper got a touch on it. Well, the officials say he didn't. Let's have a look here.
But look at that, 6 players having within 25 yards of the goal, including the right back Gavin O'Brien. They just break at such speed, such counter-attacking play. Once they win that ball, they're gone, and it's brilliant to watch.
Well, life could take any of these players in various directions, but I think we might be talking about Evan Ferguson for quite some time to come. It's not a pressure you want to put on a young player, but he certainly has the talent.
I think we all know about Evan Ferguson, but there's some fantastic players in this on both sets of teams. I've been very impressed with Aaron Dorn, Chris Latifa, Gavin O'Brien, Sean Crehan. The goalkeeper has impressed me as well, and we're only 30 minutes into the game. Obviously, I don't see these players every single week, but just by word of mouth, you're hearing about how good these players are, and a special group of players, both sets and both sets of teams.
Bohemians dealing with everything that Rovers have had to throw at them defensively so far. Ryan. Ben Curtis went outside to Oisin Hand. Back to Curtis. Back to Hand. Cut out. Unfortunately for Noonan, he couldn't do too much with that. Bulls getting their foot on it again. Latifa's got a lot of time and a lot of space. And there is support there in the shape of Ferguson. Abandiore stuck to him, did well. Gavin O'Brien. Latifa. That was a nudge on Conroy, and it's a free kick to Bowes.
Yeah, he got his body in the way of the ball. Really, really clever play by Conroy, and drew the foul from John Ryan. The gaps between the Bows defence and their midfield and their striker is really incredible. They're like a seasoned outfit here. It's like they've been playing together for years.
That's the thing. I keep having to remind myself that these are under 17s, and I know they're elite under 17s, but they're producing remarkable stuff. Gavin O'Brien. Dara O'Reilly goes wide and then gets it back. Well done, Cian Byrne. Got his foot on it. They might get in here. Doran couldn't keep it on target.
It's a wonderful chance. What a wonderful chance to put the game to bed after half an hour. Great through ball. Aaron Doran times his run to perfection. And what about that lovely little dink over him, but it just went to the wrong side of the post. It would have been a sensational goal.
Ben Curtis was claiming he was offside. I don't think the officials were having any of that. Doran unlucky. In fairness to Cahill, came out, closed the angle down, did everything he could do.
He does have to finish it though with Oisin. He's 1-on-1. He had plenty of time to think about what he had to do. He could have dinked it, which he did. He could have went around him. He could have just placed it down the sides of Killian Cahill. A lot of people will I think the dink is kind of the cheeky way of scoring a goal, and maybe if it was 0-0 it would have been a different, he might have chose a different finish. But it just goes to show his confidence in this game. As I said, he scored one, he set one up, and he was very, very close to getting a second.
And now he's doing his best, or he was doing his best just a second ago, to be a nuisance at that throw-in. Fighting for it is Michael Leddy. And it's a throw into Rovers. If they could nick a goal before half time, it would certainly give them a bit of confidence, and they do have plenty of time. We saw yesterday Scott McTominay scoring 2 goals in the space of 2 or 3 minutes. Anything is possible. Bowes on the counter attack again. Evan Ferguson is galloping down the park. Ben Curtis shepherds it out. Gavin O'Brien. O'Brien hoisting it towards Evan Ferguson. Well read by the defence, but Conroy got there. Conroy wanted it back, but it was rolled wide by Mullins instead. Mullins running back onto this one. Doran's inside. Mullins keeps it under his spell. Sees that Latifa is free on this near side. Touched it down to no one in particular. He was offside in any case.
Yeah, that's just a learning thing that he'll have to learn now as a wide player. He cannot be offside and looking across a line like that. You see it happen at senior level. So at 17s, you're only learning the game, and he'll have to learn that quickly.
Abandiore closed down by Latifa. Carries it out of defence. That's very risky. Conroy stepped in the road, but luckily for Rovers, it broke for them. Now it's in behind. Can they get a slice of luck here? Zeffy. Dara McGuinness is outside. Zeffy, I don't think he's much interested in going there. Just too many bodies back for Bulls. They give away the throw in.
No, they're very clever. They're doubling up on Kevin. They have Gavin O'Brien there. Collie Conroy came across as well to try and double up on Kevin, so that he wouldn't, if he gets by one, he has to come up against another.
Zeffy. Low and zippy, but dealt with again by Bowes. Comes back to Zeffy. Zeffy showing a trick or two. Muscled off it by Latifa. Here's Doran.
That's so unlucky.
Evan Ferguson is popping up everywhere on this pitch. He was galloping down the left a couple of seconds ago. There he was on the right, almost getting there. Just a bit too much pace on the ball. Here's Abandiore. Rovers ball. Take it, says Thomas Morgan. Wrestling his man out of the way was Conroy. Here's Ferguson again. They're right in front of us here in our commentary position. You could see the intensity and the effort going in to try and win the ball there. Falls down to Oisin Hand. Now Rovers with the chance to create something. They have numbers inside. They win the corner. That's better.
Yes, it is much better. Great play by Conan Noonan down that right hand side. He goes by Len O'Sullivan. Len O'Sullivan done really, really well to get back, and corner has been given. Opportunity here though, quick corner.
Can they catch Bowes out? Hand couldn't quite get his boot on it, and Bowes get it away.
It was a poor delivery in the end. They had an opportunity to run into the box with the ball. Bowes were asleep from that corner, and the delivery has cost Bohemians there.
Curtis. Abandiore. Latifa closed him down, put him under pressure, but Zeffy has it for Rovers. You could hear after he struck it, he just knew it wasn't the ball he was looking for. Ball in behind Doran, just gets away from Curtis. Probably could have let it go back to the goalkeeper, puts himself and his team under pressure. Abandiore. Latifa wins it back. Doran. Latifa running on the inside. Ferguson making his way towards the box as well now. Gavin O'Brien. Good cross. Just a little bit too high.
Wonderful delivery, but Chris Latifa is just pressurising Eric Abandiore. He's very slow on the ball, Eric, and there's Chris again winning it back high up the pitch.
Latifa just flashes past that goalkeeper's post.
His pressing is really, really good for such a young player, Chris. A couple of times he dispossessed Eric. He's gone in there and he's dispossessed John Ryan as well. And a wonderful strike just past the post.
Wasn't far away.
That's what you want though. You want low and hard, and it was Killian Cahill had it covered now, but it was a great strike.
Comes back from where it came. And to be fair to Cahill, not much he could do about either goal. The first one coming in the first minute, scored by Doran. Ferguson getting the second. Both goals coming from the pace at which Bowes can play and pick apart this Rovers defence. They've been doing it all season. Their goal tally is ridiculous.
Yeah, they can score goals in this team, but they've goals everywhere. As you can see, they have Mullins, and they have Evan Ferguson, they have Chris Latifa, they have Aaron Dorn. They have players all over, and they have James McManus on the bench as well that can score goals too. So there's goals everywhere in this team.
There was a call for a handball there, but it didn't strike Dara Riley's hand. It came off his body. Cahill. I haven't seen that too often. The goalkeeper just lumping it long. Might work out though, because chasing after it now as Dara McGuinness doesn't get there. It's sent away by Len O'Sullivan.
Len O'Sullivan, a brother of Ray O'Sullivan. Actually, he lives in the town where I teach, in Rush.
McGuinness. Abandiore wants it. Carries it well. Will he have a go? He will from a long way out, but it is well off target.
Yeah, there was no conviction in the strike. He did really, really well, cut inside, but he leaned back, and as I said, no conviction. He went past Latifa really, really easily. Good few options, decided for the strike, but sailed over the bar.
Gavin O'Brien. Latifa has Ferguson with them. It's tethered to his foot, isn't it?
I'm just so impressed with Evan Ferguson's first touch. Just no matter who comes up and behind him, he still gets his first touch really under control. It's like glue.
Grehan having received it from Reese Byrne, the goalkeeper. And they always have that option as well to go long, especially when you've got Ferguson and Doran chasing after it.
And they have done it a few times where they've lost possession really, really easily by doing that. They sent it long when they didn't really need to, and they've given possession away easily. That's the only negative I'd have about this Bohemians play in this first half. See, there we go again. Chris is just so quick on Eric Abundiori, and he just needs to get a hold of the ball, go back inside and pass it back to Curtis at the back rather than always open up his body. It's easily read.
Throw into Bohemians. ...2020 has been weird. Christmas has not been the kind of Christmas that we're used to, but it is good to have football. It's good to be here. We appreciate that it's an honour to be at games because so many people would love to be here, but they can't be here. We are delighted though that we can bring this to you in some way, shape or form. That's a very neat and strong turn. Taking off is Jamie Mullins, but in fairness to the defender, he was able to dispossess him. Zeffy's isolated on this near side. Shows a good turn of pace to get anywhere close to that, but just couldn't quite get there.
Again, great defending by Gavin O'Brien, but it's what they're always looking for. They're looking for it all the time. Michael Leddy just wins the ball, tries to play it in over Kevin Zeffy. Probably the wrong choice of pass. He could have drove forward himself, and Gavin O'Brien has had a great start to this game.
Stick with us because at halftime we'll be hearing from Tom Mohan, the Ireland under-19 head coach. Jamie will be speaking to him. Evan Ferguson sends it on. Doran. He tried to find Ferguson but couldn't. That's a really strong challenge coming in from Conroy. Abundiori's got to deal with this. He did well, much to his credit.
Yes, really, really good. Much, much better.
Gavin O'Brien, the captain of Bohemians. To captain a club like Bohemians at any age is quite the honour. Gavin O'Brien is doing it with purpose and drive this evening. Zeffy loses it to Doran. Ryan, it's a little bit aimless.
I'm sure Thomas will be looking forward to getting this Shamrock Rovers team in at half time.
Latifa with a strong challenge. Abundiori is down. Referee David Gallagher just making sure that Abundiori is okay. He tells Latifa just to step away and he'll deal with them in a second. And it looks like he's going to go into the book. Looks like he's going to get a card.
Yeah, I think in today's game, I think that is a yellow card. He did try and win the ball, in fairness to Chris, but he did go a little bit too strong in on Eric Abundiori, and rightful yellow card. Good refereeing.
I once received a tackle like that on this very pitch. I was playing in a charity game. I deserved it, by the way, because I kicked the guy who tackled me before that. So
I'd say you didn't get up, did you?
I didn't want to. I had to. Ball over the top. McGuinness is chasing after it, but again, it just doesn't have the accuracy that it needs.
It's very aimless. That's like they just need to get in at the break, and some of the heads are down. Thomas Morgan has a job to do at half time to lift these players' heads.
Yet to create a clean-cut goal-scoring chance, Shamrock Rovers. Bohemians with goals from Doran and Ferguson has them in charge. Here's Latifa, who's on that yellow card, trying to slalom through the Rovers defence. Great to see a player who just loves to take on defences, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's like a dying art, isn't it, where you get a winger just wants to just take on defenders, fullbacks, and Chris is doing that today. It's great.
McGuinness was being climbed on there by Grehan. Grehan got away with it. Out for a throw and it goes.
be interesting to see now if Thomas actually changes Kevin over to the other side in the second half, or pushes him inside to get him more involved in the game. He's not getting much joy out this side, and Gavin O'Brien is doing really, really well up against him.
We're about to find out how much extra time there will be at the end of the first half. Not much, I would imagine. Latifa. Well done, kept inside by Collie Conroy. Here's Doran, 1 minute of additional time. Doran ran into a crowd. Abendiore.
Oh,
Latifa sliding in again. He lost his footing. He's already on a yellow card. What will the referee decide here? Sit down and chill out is what the referee is saying to both benches.
yeah, but you can't be doing that on a yellow card. I know people are like, he might have slipped, but you can't be slow. You can't be going in and tackle like that. He's just been booked only 2 minutes before this, and he has to be really, really careful.
Well, the referee happy enough to give Shamrock Rovers a free kick, but take no further action. Zeffy. Offside. Free kick for Bohemians.
It's a couple of times now that Kevin has tried that ball out to the far side to Conan Noonan. It hasn't worked for him. And even then, if it had of, Conan was offside. So it's they just need to regroup. I think their heads are dropping a little bit. They're not passing as well as they usually do, and Bows are in complete control.
Well, it has been a tough season for Bulls in a Dublin derby sense at adult levels, so Bulls fans will be delighted that they're winning one of these, but there is a long way to go yet. Half time, Shamrock Rovers trailing Bohemian by 2-0. Conan, what have you made of it?
Yeah, it's been a really, really entertaining game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. The opening goal, I thought maybe that might have been, we mightn't have seen much more goal mouth action in for a bit of time, because I thought Bows might have sat back, but it's been a complete opposite. I think the front four have been really, really good. Evan Ferguson has held the ball up really, really well, brought others into play. Chris Latifa on one side and Jamie Mullins on the other. And then Aaron Doran, sitting in that number 10 role, has been absolutely superb. He has caused mayhem in that Shamrock Rovers defence. And then Collie Conroy as well. Collie Conroy, as I said, he's been nominated for International Player of the Year. He's been absolutely immense as well. And he's shown real great leadership skills in the middle of the park, breaking up play, and Bows fully deserve their 2-0 win. Victory, 2-0 up at half time, should I say.
What do you think Thomas Morgan will say to his team at the break? Because they haven't really played yet, haven't they? They haven't shown their worth. No, they haven't. But they haven't played at all. They haven't come out at all. There's been the likes of Kevin Zeff. He hasn't been in the game. He's showed some glimpses, but not much. The defence have really struggled with the attacking players of Bohemians. I think in the middle of the park they've been dominated by the two from Bohemians. Michael Leddy hasn't been in the game either, and I think for Shamrock Rovers to come out in the second half, they need to get Michael Leddy on the ball. He's a goal threat, himself and Darren McGuinness, and they just haven't been in the game. I can't remember you even mentioning their names once in that first half, and that's a worry for Shamrock Rovers. So Thomas Morgan will be trying to G up those players. They're probably going to be disheartened at the fact of being 2-0 down in a cup final. But at the same time, there's 45 minutes to play, and Shamrock Rovers can turn this around if they do come out. Well, goals from Doran and Ferguson have Bulls in charge in the SSE Airtricity League Under-17 final. 2-0 Bohemians lead. Conan and I were spoiled. We're in a nice dry shed watching on, but we've put Jamie Moore out in the rain, and he's got a special guest.
Thanks, lads. Here pitch side with the Ireland Under-19 head coach Tom Moan. In the rain, you lads are getting a nice warm cup of tea behind you there in the commentary box. Tom, an exciting first half. Bohemians taking the lead after just around 15 seconds. The dream start.
Absolutely, Jamie. And it's a fantastic start, and a couple of great goals there. And obviously Bows in the wide areas, the great pace, and that goal has probably determined a lot for the rest of the game, because Rovers have really come out and probably open themselves up a bit, and it's playing into Bows' hands. They're very, very quick on the break and incisive, and they've caused some problems. They get space, they've got the pace.
Yeah, as a manager, you always want your team to start well, and in the case of Bohemians, that goal from 15 seconds, literally their first attack, and the team talk from Bows has worked brilliantly. Shamrock Rovers are wondering where their game plan is, given they've conceded so early.
Absolutely, like Bows are that sort of team. They're really, really well set up. You know, they're aggressive. They get after you. You know, and they've nullified the space of the dangerous Shamrock Rovers players as well. Like, you know, which has made it really, really difficult for Rovers to get into it. But there's still a lot to play for. Rovers get one goal in the back into the game, and you know, goals change games. And obviously, I wouldn't be surprised maybe if Kevin Zeffy comes in more inside and gets involved in the game more. Could change the complexion of the game.
Yeah, Evan Ferguson then on 25 minutes makes it 2-0. He's such a high profile player. He made his debut for the Bohemians first team at such a young age. He's going to go to the UK soon, and he's a really, really important player for Bohemians, and he's got himself on the score sheet tonight.
Absolutely, like, and you're not surprised because he's got so many qualities. But the most pleasing aspect of Evan tonight is, like, he's had so many experiences for a young player. He's a hyped up player, but his attitude in amongst the rest of the players, his own age group or whatever, you know, he's got a great temperament, and his goal showed the qualities, the temperament, the decision making and the execution, top class. Like, yeah.
You mentioned Kevin Zeffy of Shamrock Rovers, one of their key players among a number of them, and the coaching staff and Thomas Morgan will have to try and think on their feet for the second half to get themselves back into the game.
Yeah, he's going to be a key player. Like, you know, he's another player there's an awful lot of expected of too, and rightly so, because he's built his reputation up. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's played more centrally and get involved in the game more, and he's got that ability to get you something out of nothing. So it's still all to play for Dublin derbies. You know what they're like. You know, it'll be really, really exciting second half.
Tom, thanks a million.
Right, Jim, no problem.
So we'll take a break for half time. We'll be back for the second half with Oisin and Conan in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back to the SSE AIRTRICITY League Under 17 final. Shamrock Rovers making a triple change as we go into the second half. They're 2-0 down. The goals coming from Leishman, Aaron Doran and Evan Ferguson in the first half. And it's certainly Thomas Morgan, I was going to say taking a gamble, but he's putting on some very good players, but you generally wouldn't see 3 subs at half time.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to do something. John Ryan, Darren McGuinness and Eric Abindiore are sacrificed, but he needed to make the changes, I think, and we'll just see how it happens. And you'd like to see Shamrock Rovers start the second half really, really quickly.
Well, they couldn't start the second half any worse than they started the first, conceding a goal within a minute, but Bohemians will try to get through there, but Jamie Mullins just dispossessed. Killian Cahill, who made some good saves in the first half, could do nothing about either goal. Going long, Reese Byrne. An early goal would really set the cat among the pigeons here. Hand had to make sure and put it out for a throw-in, but he couldn't let that one pass him.
I mentioned John Ryan gone off there. I actually don't think it was. I think it was Sean Carey that's gone off. So John Ryan is still on the pitch.
Well, as you saw and heard, if you were with us in the first half, absolutely bucketing down in Belfield. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still fairly strong. Here's Doran. Good cross, but too close to the goalkeeper. I should say did well to get the cross as opposed to good cross.
Be interesting to see how Bohemians start this opening the second half. Will they go for the juggler and try and get a third, or will they stay compact and try and keep the game at 2-0? It'll be interesting to see how it shapes up.
Len O'Sullivan. Good pressure put on him there by Adedoye from Wexford, playing for Shamrock Rovers. Zeffy getting onto it there, just lost control of it. Rovers get it back. Cian Byrne reading that one all the way. Doran on the run again, tries to roll it back to Latifa. Shamrock Rovers, though, with a bit more intensity about them in this second half.
Yeah, they've gone for a flat back 4 now in this half. John Ryan has gone in at left back. That's why I didn't see him in the middle of the park. That's why I said he might have been gone. And Ben Curtis has come over to right full.
It was a clever ball by O'Sullivan to Mullins. Mullins, though, couldn't keep control of it. Very, very calmly defended there. Len O'Sullivan. It was Dara Riley, by the way, who was cool as a cucumber there. There wasn't really anywhere for the Bohemians player to go, though. Ran out of room.
Yeah, no, there was no movement in front of him. Nobody was looking for the ball whatsoever. So he tried to take him on himself.
Zeffy. Linked to Inter Milan, being chased down by Gavin O'Brien, who's been so solid tonight so far.
Derek Pender shouting over at his right back there to say how good a job he's doing. No better man.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the man knows fullbacks, doesn't he? Yeah. Up in the air from Evan Dunn. Looked like a tug back there. Referee saw it as well. Free kick for Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, great opportunity now for Shamrock Rovers to do something with this. Conan Noonan is probably going to get over the ball himself, or Kevin Zeffy. So it's a good chance here for Shamrock Rovers in the opening stages of this second half.
Evan Dunn has wandered over. Zeffy is there. Conan Noonan, as you say. We've seen some wonderful strikes in the League of Ireland from Conan's before. I'll mention it before you do.
I knew it was coming.
Congratulations, by the way, on the award you got recently. We'll come back to that in just a moment. What can Shamrock Rovers do here? They have plenty of time, but they want to get a start. It's a zippy enough ball. Gavin O'Brien cleared it, but not particularly strongly. Oh, that's into the danger zone, and it's well saved by the goalkeeper. Reese Burns stretching out to try and get there. Was Ushin Hand, just couldn't guide it either side of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was a good chance. Ushin got his left foot to it, and goalkeeper done really, really well just to put his hand in. He didn't panic, stayed high and made the easy save.
Abadoye putting pressure on there for Shamrock Rovers. He did well, and they created a chance, and that's a positive. It's something they hadn't really done much of in the first half.
Yeah, again, but the free kick isn't good enough. Oisin, it was the ball was played in and didn't beat the first man again.
Abadoye on the chase. That's good defending from Len O'Sullivan. Gives away the corner, but not much more he could do.
No, but it's a good opening 5 minutes for Shamrock Rovers in the second half. They needed to put pressure on the Bohemians rear guard. And these set pieces now, they need to work them really, really well and cause a bit of panic in that Bohemians defence.
John Ryan came deep for the short corner. It didn't go short, as you can see. This could go anywhere. Cannons off a Bulls defender.
Great block by Crahan.
Latifa wanted it, but he couldn't quite get the contact on it. Doran lifted away by Ryan. Abadoye chasing again, and Len O'Sullivan has to try and stay cool under pressure, but he's lost possession. That's good play by Abadoye. Outside it goes. Noonan showing a trick or two. Oh, just showed too much of that though to the Bohemians defence. Doran on the counter-attack. Ferguson's ahead of him. Ferguson has to go wide, but he's still in a dangerous position. Took a deflection. It's out for a corner. It could have gone anywhere. Again,
just one little break and play. Conan Noonan driving across his the Bohemians defence. Little break and play, and Aaron Doran turns, runs at the Shamrock Rovers defence, plays in Evan Ferguson, and they get a corner on the other end of the pitch. Again, just so quick in their attack and play, Bohemians. And again, Aaron Doran at the heart of it.
Well, James McManus is about to come in for Bohemians, the under-15s captain, a very tidy player. Another one who's kind of playing above.
Yeah, he's really, really good player. Can score goals as well, James.
Coming in for Latifa, who is on a yellow card, so it's probably a smart switch. Couldn't quite keep the header down, Dara O'Reilly, but it was a good attempt.
Yeah, good corner in by Aaron Doran. He got the head in it and just went over the top. I think this is a clever substitution. I think Latefi, after his yellow card, he had the opportunity. The referee had a decision to make over whether sending him off only 2 minutes later when he went in on a challenge on Abidore or Abendunde. But having said that, Derek Pender now has made the decision to take him off and bring on James McManus.
He's worked hard tonight. Latifa has a trick or two and is a very, very bright prospect, like all of the players who were involved this evening, to be fair. Header well won by Mullins. Ferguson gets away from hand. Rovers defender gets across, deals with it, but then gives it away to Mullins. Mullins off the shin of Curtis. It looked to me like it was a Bohemians ball.
Yeah, it's a poor decision there. It was a Bohemians ball all day long, that one.
Extra time and penalties if required. Doesn't look like we're going to need them yet, but there's a lot of talent in this Rovers team. There are goals in this Rovers team. There could be more goals in this Bows team. They're looking for one now, and they've got a free kick. Once again, Collie Conroy, another one of the Portlaoise contingent, causing issues for Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, the two lads in the middle have been excellent. Keane Byrne and as you say, Collie Conroy. They've been dominant, absolutely dominant this whole game so far. And another good opportunity here for Bohemians to test Killian Cahill.
The ref showed a yellow card there, but I'm not quite sure to whom. We'll clarify that in just a second. Actually, you're a teacher. Is it to who or to whom?
To whom?
Yeah, okay. Glad I corrected myself. That would have turned up in my Christmas report. Doran lifts it. Could go anywhere. Ferguson wins the throw-in.
Very interesting to hear what Tom Owen had to say about Evan Ferguson's temperament, and I think we have to agree. Like this player is probably on his way to Brighton. Has played first team football.
And here he is again. That'll be cut out.
but he's shown his passion and his determination to help out. You could see other players possibly dropping down into 17s, and maybe not working as hard as he should, but that can't be said for Evan tonight. He's been really, really good.
He's been excellent. Sam Curtis getting on the ball there, one of the half-time subs. Evan Dunn. Pacey ball to Abadoye. Ricochets up in the air. Abadoye just couldn't get it out of his feet for the shot. Rolls back to Reese Byrne.
Well, he started well, Abadoye. He's getting the ball, he's driving at the players, and that's what you want in this Shamrock Rovers team in the second half. You want the driving at the fullbacks, and he's done that every time he's got the ball.
Chased after Len O'Sullivan there, but O'Sullivan played it over the top. Just came off the shin of Doran. Shane Keegan delighted to see Leishman Doran scoring tonight. No surprise there. Shane Keegan, you'll know, as the opposition analyst of Dundalk, former Galway manager, Wexford manager as well, of course. Riley winning it on the first and second attempt. Riley again, but he leaned in there to Michael Leddy, and it's a free kick to Shamrock Rovers. Well, he didn't lean in, he just pushed him.
That's good centre forward play. He knew that he was going to come, felt the contact, and went down.
There you go. Curtis. Abadoye. Cleared with interest by Collie Conroy.
Good cover again by Conroy. Shamrock Rovers need to make something of this possession in Bohemians' defence. They need to get some chances, test Reese Byrne in the Bohemians' goal, which they've been unable to do in this game so far.
Oisin Hand, the captain. Don't forget, we're back tomorrow evening at the same time for the under-19s final. That's St. Pat's against Bulls. Done. Abadoye. Nicking in there was O'Sullivan again.
It looks like Len O'Sullivan's going to be busy in the second half. A lot of the Rovers play seems to be coming down this right hand side.
He's handled it well.
He certainly has.
Curtis. It's a throw in for Bulls. Len O'Sullivan assessing the options. The game itself could do with a Rovers goal at this stage as the ball finds its way back to Reese Byrne.
The neutral would say that.
Well, the neutral would say that. Well, yeah. I think the accent suggests I'm not a dub and therefore definitely neutral in this particular encounter. As are you. Kind of.
I did play for Pats.
No, that's why I said in this particular contest, you're as neutral as you can be. Hand leaves it a little bit short. Cahill sends it away. Touched back to him by Curtis. Headed up in the air by Conroy. Oh, that's
McManus on John Ryan.
David Gallagher, the referee, calling in the medical staff. Let's hope John Ryan can shake that one off.
There was no intent in it whatsoever. He just went to win the ball, and these things happen in football. It's good to see that the opposition players not running in looking for cards in this situation. You'll see that at senior level, and kind of ruins the game a little bit, but I think everyone understands the context of the game, and unfortunately the referee is going to book McManus for this.
Well, John Ryan is up and running again. That's really good to see. And McManus goes into the book.
I think that's a harsh one, Oisin, being totally honest.
This stream brought to you tonight, of course, by Doppler Media. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram. It has been the year of the stream. One of the few businesses that has benefited and grown from COVID, aside from making vaccines. Obviously they've done pretty well out of it as well. Reese Byrne reads it really well. Not the first time tonight. Doran tries to control it, just got away from him. Cahill lifts it into the middle. Abadoye absolutely surrounded. Abadoye chasing after Len O'Sullivan here. Len O'Sullivan puts it out for a throw-in.
Yeah, no chances there. He could have played it back to his goalkeeper Reese Byrne, but instead does a sensible thing and puts it out for a throw-in. I think Bohemians will be happy with the way this the game has started. This second half has started.
Ferguson lost control. Well, he'll tell you he put it into the path of Jamie Mullins, which to be fair he did. Ball over the top. On the chase after it is James McManus. All the way back to Cahill it will go. Hand. Be patient is the shout from Derek Pender on the sideline, the Bohemians manager. Monitoring that all the way with Sean Grehan. Headed forward, but again, there's just too many Bulls bodies back. Away from Cian Byrne. Derek Pender seems to want his team to get their foot on the ball a bit more if they can. He's saying settle down, settle down.
Yeah, they're not working with the same press that they had in the first half. They're allowing Shamrock Rovers just to have the ball in certain areas. But Shamrock Rovers are struggling to do anything with it.
Gavin O'Brien getting the yellow card there, by the way, just to confirm that Bohemians captain. Shamrock Rovers having to go backwards for them. Hopefully they'll be able to get it forwards. Evan Dunn getting onto it there. Hand. Over the top for Ferguson it goes. Skips on that wet surface and skips away from him. The rain has stopped, but it's still very, very slippery on that pitch. A pitch which has held up remarkably well. Doran couldn't keep it under his spell. Yes, congratulations to you, Conan, by the way, because you were the recent recipient of the Liam Toohey Special Merit Award to recognise your acts of charity and kindness this year. That relates back to the walk you did, I think, at the start of lockdown, walking every League of Ireland ground or SSE AIRTRICITY League ground in Dublin as Shamrock Rovers bring on a sub. Banyai comes in and he is replacing Evan Dunn.
Yes, thank you, Oisín. Yeah, I went a marathon walk around the grounds of Dublin back in March, and then did a few phone calls to the older citizens of our country who are struggling with lockdown and isolation at the moment. So a number of League of Ireland players, former players, coaches and managers got in touch with them and had wonderful, heartwarming conversations with them, which was great. And all credit must go to the players and the coaches for taking the time out of their busy days to ring those fans. It
was fantastic because a lot of current players made phone calls as well as Ferguson tries to come forward. He's received a few phone calls from clubs, I imagine. Here he comes, Ferguson. Bulls have numbers inside. Ferguson couldn't get the cross in.
they're just so dangerous. When they win it back off Shamrock Rovers in Shamrock Rovers' own half, they just attack, and they've from all areas. Jamie Mullins down this side, McManus down the other side, and then you have Aaron Dorn right through the middle. And not only that, you have Byrne and you have Conroy coming up right in behind them too. So it's relentless from Bohemians when they get into those areas.
Low cross towards Ferguson. Got his shot away, but it was well blocked by the defender, who stood strong. Now Rovers on the counter attack. It's a little bit aimless from Noonan, to be fair to him. He didn't have too many options. He wins it back, much to his credit. Abadoye is outside. Abadoye against Len O'Sullivan. He had to win that. It had to be perfect, and it was.
Great defending again by Len O'Sullivan. But you're right, Conan Noonan had absolutely nobody looking for the ball. They all ran away from him. He had nowhere to go, and he tried to play it in through to Leddy, but Leddy had made a run in beyond the both centre halves, whereas he should have came short to receive it. He did win it back, and then at the end of it all, they get a corner.
John Ryan jogs over. It's not going to go to him. This is going to be an in-swinger. And Byrne does well.
Still not beating that first man, O'Sheen. It's really disappointing set pieces from Shamrock Rovers in this game.
Rovers throwing. There is a man down in the box off camera. It is a Bulls player. I think it's Dara Riley. Let's hope he's okay. You don't want to see any player injured at any time, particularly not a final like this, not an event like this, not a night like this.
No, he's called on the physio as well. It looks as if it's his lower leg. He's sitting up, so I don't think it's too serious, but he did call on the physio himself.
Let's hope he's okay. Derek Pender sneakily going onto the pitch there. Well, not so sneakily, it was right in front of the official who told him, get off. He apologised straight away. The under-19s in action tomorrow. St. Pat's against Bulls. That's live here on FAI TV. Should be a good game. While all that was happening, Sean Grehan went off to change his boots. Looks like Dara Riley's okay. He's actually after kind of jogging off, just about to come into shot now. That's him.
Yeah, but the two centre halves are
he's
off
fine.
the pitch.
Riley sprints back in. Grehan is still off the pitch. Now he's told he can't go back on yet. So for the moment, Bulls down to 10 men. Now they're back up to 11. Grehan sprints back on.
See, Grehan tried to pull a fast one on the referees. He went in behind the goalkeeper when his centre half partner Dara Riley went down to try and change his boots. He went off the pitch. For the assistant referee saw him, and that means that he has to come off the pitch completely, and that's why he had to come around to the side of the pitch to go back on.
Went off to change his boots. Imagine being 17 and having 2 pairs of boots.
Yeah, I'd say they've more than 2.
Wasn't the case when I was that age. That said, I was useless, so that's why.
Oh no, I didn't either.
Len O'Sullivan. Well, I feel better now. Abadoye. Curtis strong, but Bowes win it back, hoisted over the top for Ferguson. Support arriving. Ferguson might need it. He'll take it on himself. Ferguson! Very unlucky.
Great centre forward play again. 2 players up against him. Drags it in, back inside. Great strike with his left foot. Off the post.
And actually went out for a throw. That's how much power was in that drive. Headed up in the air by Grehan.
You need to get tighter to a player like Evan Ferguson, though. You can't let him run at you. It's only going to be one outcome.
Abadoye. Noonan outside. Zeffy. Zeffy! Oh, good save by the goalkeeper, Reese Byrne.
See, that's what we wanted to see. Get him driving at players. That's what he's done. He's gone past Gavin O'Brien, probably for the first time in this game. Great strike with his right foot, but an equal, marvellous save by Reese Byrne.
Wasn't all bad. They did win the quarter, which they'll now take. That looks a little bit better than some of their previous efforts, but Bohemians get it away anyway. Low bouncing and cut out. Doran down the line, running onto it now is Mullins. There is support in the middle. Conroy has made his way up. Won't find its way to him though. Noonan dispossessed. Wonderful piece of play by Cian Byrne. Oisin hand. Zeffy has a bit of time, has a bit of space, has support as well. Although Bohemians have made their way back at speed and in numbers. And it evades Michael Leddy. He's frustrated, but luckily for him, Rovers have it back. Zeffy goes wide. He wanted it back, didn't get it. Zeffy. Cathal Noonan makes his way out towards Zeffy. Noonan sets himself up. Brave block, throwing himself in the way is Cian Byrne.
While all this was happening, Oisin, Evan Ferguson has gone off behind the goal. He's really struggling with injury. He went off, he tried to come back on. Assistant referee then put him off the pitch again, and so they were down to 10 men for the duration of that period. And in the meantime, Cian Byrne, really brave block, and the physio's on for him. Evan Ferguson isn't getting up. Looks like he's holding his ankle.
Well, let's hope he's okay. He has been fantastic tonight. I'm sure you've heard about him, even if you haven't seen him up until this point. And now you know what all the hype is about. And jogging over to get some instruction there is Jamie Mullins. A willing runner. He's worked his socks off tonight. Bohemians about to make another change. Coming in is Oren Lawler. He's going to replace Evan Ferguson, who is injured, and let's hope it's a short-term injury.
Well, let's hope so, considering the future that he might be having over the next couple of weeks.
He is limping, but he's walking off under his own steam. That's off camera. We're watching Oren Lawler warm up, the Athlone man. Cian Byrne is still struggling. Threw himself in front of that stinging shot from Noonan.
It was very, very brave.
If that hit where he seems to be indicating a hit, that is sore. That is very sore. And the block seems even braver now.
It takes a while to recover from that, trust me. I remember it happened down to me in the showgrounds right at the final whistle, 93rd minute, and I was still on the pitch 10 minutes later while everyone was having their shower.
Yeah. You try to avoid the bumps on the road on the way back to Dublin that night. It's
really do.
Drive slow, yeah. So we'll resume with the Shamrock Rovers throw. Hooked away by Gavin O'Brien. Just in case you have only joined us, goals in the first half from Aaron Doran in the first minute and Evan Ferguson putting Bows in control. Here's Curtis, rolls it outside, running onto it is Carl Lennox. It's a good cross, but again the Bohemians defenders throw themselves at it and get it away. They've won almost everything in the box tonight. Collie Conroy,
What a ball.
lovely ball, good through ball to Doran. He's onside, he's 1-on-1, he could finish it here. Doran, an unusual save, but it was effective.
Yeah, it was a good save from Killian Cowell, but again, just composure in front of goal. It happened to him in the first half as well. When he went through 1-on-1, he tried the dink. This time he just put it straight at him, didn't he? He was his first touch wasn't great. I thought Killian might have came out, but yeah, it was an unorthodox save, but he did the job and pushed it out for a corner kick.
The corner kick will be taken by Jamie Mullins. Doran comes out to him. He wanted it short, but into the box it goes. Graham was trying to get there. It's bouncing around. Bit of a high boot there. Not vicious or anything like that. The goalkeeper makes a save, but wouldn't have counted anyway. Whistle had gone. Alex O'Brien about to come in for Bohemians. He's going to replace is it Collie Conroy or Cian Byrne? I'm not sure which yet, but we'll get confirmation in just a second. He'll go on the right. Will Alex O'Brien. He's replacing Cian Byrne.
Yeah, McManus is just going to drop into the centre, his more comfortable position in the centre of the park. Really nice and tidy player. Likes to do things simple.
Rovers trying to play their way out. Here's Noonan. Abadoye. Len O'Sullivan wins it back. Really tidy play by Len O'Sullivan. Rovers try and keep this one alive. Bohemians clear it. That's Cian Byrne being brought over to the bench. Let's hope he's okay. Was incredibly brave in blocking a shot and has gone through the pain barrier for his team. An SSE AIRTRICITY League under 17 winners medal would soften that pain somewhat. Len O'Sullivan. Was that a push? Yes, it was. Mullins has a man outside. That's McManus. Comes to McManus now, who went on the underlap and put out for a throw in by Ben Curtis.
It's a very disciplined performance in this second half by Bohemians. They're not putting too many players forward. They know that 2-0 is a very comfortable scoreline. 15 minutes to go. They've been really mature and impressive in this second half, Bohemians.
Len O'Sullivan. Doran was there, didn't go to him though. Lovely turn by McManus, or Mullins, I beg your pardon. Doran. Away it goes. Only as far as Conroy. O'Sullivan. McManus. Doran cuts it back. He was looking for Mullins, he didn't find him though. Riley wins the header bravely. Conroy back to O'Sullivan. Into the middle it goes Doran. Cannoned off his chest, but he couldn't control it. Abadoye got something on it, but just evaded him. Mullins burst off the spot there, but he was beaten to it by Lennox.
Again, they're handling this game really, really well. Really tight. Lines are very close together. The gaps between the midfield, the defence and the forward are really, really close. 5 yards between all. Very, very hard to break that down.
McManus outside to Gavin O'Brien. Gavin O'Brien. His teammate didn't quite read what he was trying to do there. I think it was Alex O'Brien on that far side.
I just wonder when Shamrock Rovers and Thomas Morgan are going to just go for it now and send a couple of players up front. They're still boxed in their own half. And there's still, apart from that save from Kevin Zeffy, Rhys Byrne hasn't had too much to do in this game.
The Bulls have looked incredibly comfortable at the back, even when they're defending corners.
Yeah, the two boys, Sean Crehan and Dara Riley, have been immense. Absolutely immense.
Doran after this one trying to make it a bit more comfortable for his team, but couldn't keep it in play.
He hasn't had the same impact he's had in the first half, but that doesn't matter. His play in the first half has put Bohemians 2-0 up. His goal and his assist for Evan Ferguson as well. So Aaron Doran looks like he's running out of steam a little bit, but he's still he's had a huge impact in this game.
They just tried to fire one over the top, but Gavin O'Brien was equal to it. Sam Curtis. Little bit pacey back to Curtis. Doran doesn't go after it though. Tempo is the shout from the Shamrock Rovers bench.
It's very slow. It's very slow, and the Bohemians are easily organised because the tempo in the Shamrock Rovers play is just too slow.
John Ryan slid it forward, then got it back. Pressure being poured there on Sam Curtis. He did well and was fouled.
Gavin O'Brien has to be careful now. He's picked up his yellow card, and I don't think he'll have many more chances to give away free kicks like that without picking up a second booking.
Rovers on the attack. Can they get a decent cross in? Yeah, oh, I was just about to say yes they can, but it went behind Conan Noonan. I beg your pardon. Bohemians on the counter attack. Mullins tried to shrug off Lennox. Advantage play by the referee. Free kick Bohemians.
Yeah, tugging the back. He was away, Jamie Mullins, and an easy decision to make to give the Carl Lennox a yellow card. Again, that's all Bohemians really need to do in the last 10 minutes of this game, is just to keep the ball, soak up some of that pressure, which isn't, being honest, all that much.
Shortish with the free kick to Mullins. Conroy. Lovely feet from Conroy. Neat turn as well from McManus. Curtis. That's not where you want Noonan picking up the ball, is it? That was Abada, I beg your pardon, rather than Noonan.
Bows will be delighted with this. They're just playing it back in their own half, and this is what I mean at the start of the game. Shamrock Rovers should have started like this. Got themselves into the game by passing it around, getting confident on the ball, but they didn't. And they've suffered now because they never got into the game at all. And it's a bit too late now to be passing it around the back. They should be getting the ball forward, maybe sending a couple of troops to the front line to try and get second balls.
Well, it seems unlikely that we will need extra time or penalties, but it has to end tonight. So if Shamrock Rovers can mount a comeback and we're all square at the end of the 90 minutes, we will finish this evening. It's a very, very big if at the moment. Derek Pender is screaming at his team to get up. When Rovers go backwards, he very much wants his team to press up and pressurise. Noonan tries one over the top. It will fall into the path of Len O'Sullivan. Reese Byrne, who made that spectacular save a couple of minutes ago. Sam Curtis. Len O'Sullivan wins the header really well there.
Len has been really, really good in this second half. They've tried to attack down his side, and I don't think they've got around him once. So he's been really, really good.
Abadoye. They lose it again, and Bowles will go on the counter attack. Mullins turning and twisting as McManus. Back it goes to Conroy. O'Sullivan. Lovely ball from O'Sullivan. Mullins rolls it into the path of Len O'Sullivan. Offside. It was a strong challenge and a good challenge by the Rovers defender who got back. He wasn't to know the flag was going up, but just goes to show Bulls, I won't say when they want to or at will, can cut Rovers apart, but when they get the ball and zip it around, they're certainly capable of it.
Look, they've been really, really good. It's like, being honest, sometimes during this game it's been like men against boys. It really has. Bohemians have been absolutely outstanding, and Shamrock Rovers have just not gotten into this game, and they'll be bitterly disappointed with their performance, I'm sure.
That attempted clearance skewing off the boot of Len O'Sullivan, almost bouncing into the path of Sam Byrne, the sports file photographer. Ryan. Is there something there for Rovers? A goal now would set up a grandstand finish. It's a difficult shot. Byrne spills it, then regathers it.
And that's where you want your centre forward to just get in after it. Now, he probably wouldn't have got it, but I've noticed that in the second half. They don't gamble enough, the Shamrock Rovers centre, the front line. Like the likes of Michael Leddy, Abedoyes that's just come on. They don't gamble. And that second ball is vital in the opposing half. And it's just
Mullins and Abada coming together there. Nothing more than a throw-in will come from it. Then O'Sullivan taking the throw-in. McManus is kind of running off. Doran goes to ground. It is outside the box and it isn't a free anyway. Abedoye. Riley does well. Collected by Noonan. Conroy hacks him down, free kick. A big night for these young fellas on the pitch. A big night for the fans as well. Delighted, no doubt, to have some SSE Airtricity League football to watch this under-17 final being played with endeavour and skill and excitement. Rovers, despite the fact that they're 2-0 down and have been for most of the game, they haven't given up. That's easily cut out by Sean Grehan. Just got a message from Mark Lane of Bohemians. He said to say hello to him.
I'm sure he's a happy man at this moment in time.
He's a very happy man. And when I first started following League of Ireland football, he was a very helpful man. So
you can hear the shout from Derek Pender about don't get tired. Bows are out on their feet. They're really, really tired at this time.
Clever and clear call from Rhys Byrne. Callum Warren about to come in for Bohemians. Callum Warren will replace Jamie Mullins. Well, Conan, we're almost at the end of the game. It looks like Bohemians will get their hands on the trophy. So, for you, who is the man of the match?
Well, obviously it's going to be a couple of Bohemians players in the hunt for this. I thought Aaron Dorn has been absolutely outstanding. His goal and his assist, his first half display. Kind of went out of it a little bit. Gavin O'Brien as well. Kept Kevin Zeffie very, very quiet. He was really, really good. But I have to give it to Colin Conroy in the centre of the park. Just a dominant leader's performance, breaking up play, his communication to his teammates. So he is my under-17 cup final man of the match.
And congratulations to him. And we've just seen Callum Warren come in, slight of stature but not afraid to throw himself in there. Won the ball a couple of times there, did well with it. Shamrock Rovers giving away the corner, and it looks like for them it's going to be one of those nights. But as we said at the start of the game, yes, they'll be disappointed, the losers of this game, but tonight is about learning. Tonight is about, I suppose, ticking another box along the way.
I'll let you say that to the Shamrock Rovers players.
Yeah, I won't say it to them, no, but
you're dead right. They're at under 17 level, it is all about learning and it's all about development, and they will develop and they'll learn from this. I'm just being so impressed by the players' technical ability, but more so their maturity on the ball. How Bohemians are seeing this out is really, really remarkable, and a testament to their coaching and their management and everything that's been going on this season with the pandemic. And they're still being able to handle a game of this magnitude so well. And yeah, the future is bright, certainly, with the amount of talented international footballers on show here today, and it's been a pleasure being here.
Callum Warren, who looks like he's up past his bedtime chasing after this one. Shielded by Carl Lennox. Callum Warren. Doesn't it make you feel old that he was born in 2004 and there he is out there tonight playing a match on TV? Conroy. Sullivan sends it forward. That's beautifully controlled by Doran. He's had a fantastic night. They were unlucky there. If that had worked out, it would have been probably Doran's second. Had a few stoppages in the second half, so there will be time. All of these kids are far too young to remember the Champions League final in '99, but they will know you can score 2 goals very quickly. They won't give up just yet. Don't think Rovers are too happy with the amount of injury time allotted, which is 3 minutes, by the way. We are into that now.
Yeah, Ed Saul, the assistant manager there, he's not too impressed with the fourth official. Fourth official has given as much as he can get back.
Zeffy. Looked like it went out over the line. Rovers keep it in play. Is that the stroke of luck that they've been looking for? Abadoye came on at half time, has worked incredibly hard. Reese Byrne. Doran was chasing after it, but goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Can Rovers get something here? A strong sliding tackle from Oren Lawler. Ben Curtis. Derek Pender hasn't stopped encouraging his team all night. They look like they're on their way to the title here, and that's well shielded by Riley. To flex into the path of Alex O'Brien. Gavin O'Brien. Doran chases again. The bounce takes it back to Cahill. Cahill. Cut out wonderfully well by Graham. Here they go on the attack again though. Michael Leddy. Leddy gets a cross in. Cut out again. This time it's Graham.
Graham and Riley have been just so good at the back line. They haven't broken through them. They've won headers from set pieces. They've won tackles, intercepted things. So the back four have been absolutely superb. From Gavin O'Brien across to Len O'Sullivan, and then the two boys in the middle, and then obviously Reese Byrne at the back with that tremendous save at a very important time in that second half from Kevin Zeffy. Great strike, but another world-class save.
Goes out off a Bowls player, throwing 2 Shamrock Rovers. I love that Derek Pender is still calling for everything on the sideline. It's all over, and Bohemians are the SSE AIRTRICITY League Under-17 champions. 2 goals in the first half. The first coming in the first minute from Doran. Evan Ferguson scoring the second. It had them 2-0 up at the break, and we got no goals in the second half. They are absolutely deserving of their victory. The final score: Shamrock Rovers 0, Bohemians 2.
Yeah, I think it's a fully deserved victory. I think we've said that throughout the game. Nice going away present, I suppose, for Evan Ferguson as well, getting his probably his final goal in Bohemians colours, and what a goal it was too. Great flick to make it 2-0. Fully deserved victory in the whole game. I thought from front to back they've been absolutely superb in this game. And Shamrock Rovers, look, they'll be bitterly disappointed with the performance. They just did not turn up. The setback of that early goal by Aaron Doran, they never really recovered. I think Bohemians' tactics were spot on as well. Shamrock Rovers came out with a 3-5-2 formation, and Bohemians' press from wide areas, from Aaron Doran in the 10, and Evan Ferguson as well didn't let up. They were absolutely magnificent. And then, as I said, my man of the match, Collie Conroy, himself and Reese Byrne in the centre of the park were just so good in the entire game. From, as I said, from minute one, breaking up play, passing, leadership qualities. players at such young age to be able to have that ability, to have that leadership. And I talked about before the game about, like, it's changed from when myself and yourself, I'm sure, when we always took instruction and that was it, that we listened to our coaches and we just followed their rules. It's different now. It's player led, and it's great to see players leading by example at such a young age, taking warm-ups, and just really privileged to be here in attendance at this game today.
Hard luck to Shamrock Rovers. It's not like they played overly badly, just Bowls were just really good tonight. They controlled the game start to finish, and it was built from the back. I mean, their centre back pairing were unpassable this evening. Yeah,
as I said just before the game finished up, Sean Crehan and Dara Riley, they were absolutely superb. And as I mentioned in commentary, Sean Crehan has still another year at under 17 next year, and he's got a wonderful opportunity to pursue a very, very good career, like a lot of these players that have played today, not just on the winning team on Bohemians, but also on Shamrock Rovers as well. And waiting on here on Derek Pender for a first time he's won something, I think.
Penalty scorer supreme Derek Pender. We'll hear from him in just a moment. Not long retired, and what a first season he's had in management and underage coaching, and what a talented squad he has to work with. We've seen that this evening, and I'm sure he'll tell you he's seen it all season. Their goals tally has been off the chart. Not too bad tonight either. They've won 2-0, and Derek Pender is now speaking with Jamie.
Thanks, lads. Your first trophy as a manager, Derek. About a minute after the final whistle, how does it feel?
Oh, it's great, Jay. It's been a long year, tough year for everybody involved in football, so it's a great one for the players. They've worked hard, they've put up with me for all year, and it's unbelievable.
We spoke in the preview about what you might say to them as your last words of the team talk. Was scoring after 15 seconds among them?
No, definitely not. It wasn't. There was more to just to keep us organised and don't get overawed by the occasion, like, really, just keep doing what they've been doing all year, and they did that tonight. They were brilliant, they were.
The perfect start, Aaron Doran, literally 15 seconds into the game, the perfect start for your team, and nice little finish.
Yeah, it was great. It's great. He could have had a hat-trick more, I think, tonight. Aaron could have put the game away for us a little bit earlier, but look, he's been brilliant for me all year. He got an assist as well as a goal tonight, so I'm delighted for him.
Yeah, Evan Ferguson has been such an important player for the club. I think he made his debut as your teammate with the first team last season when he was only 14 or 15, and he might go to the UK soon. He had a really good performance tonight, and his performance probably deserved the goal that he got.
Yeah, definitely. Evan's unbelievable. We all know what Evan is, and it's been well documented about him being on first team squads and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, all he wants to do is play football, and it doesn't matter where he goes. Like, as soon as he come back, he just wants to play for the 17s. He's never gets ahead of himself. He's always wanted to work hard, and he's a great lad.
For you as a manager, your first season, what does it mean to you to have led the team to a trophy?
I'm just delighted. I'm delighted for them. It's like we say, it's been a tough, long year for the lads. More so happy for the players because they give everything to me, and it's a great reward for them just to get this trophy at the end of the year.
Yeah, they performed really well, and they were only able to have one parent or guardian here tonight, but we had over 2,000 people watching the stream tonight, so a lot of people at home, probably still at home, waiting for the trophy lift. Don't worry, it won't happen until you're there, I promise. But for them, the people watching at home, the people who've come to watch them in the stand tonight, all very proud of their young men.
Oh, 100%. I'd said that to the lads today, like, with the people that can't be here. We got plenty of family members that can't be here today, so go out and give it off for them more so than anybody else, and they did that tonight.
Derek, go on during the celebrations. Congratulations.
Cheers. Thanks. Cheers, lads.
So we'll be back to the lads in the commentary box in a second. We're going to go to the trophy lift, and then we'll catch up with the man of the match as well, as the Bohemians under 17s prepare to lift the 2020 league title.
Well, the officials getting their medals at the moment. David Gallagher is the referee, Joe McDonnell, Robbie Byrne, Brendan Twamley completing the team of officials who, I think it's fair to say, did well tonight, kept the game moving, took out the cards when they had to take out the cards, and largely got it right.
No, they were spot on the whole game. The only decision they got wrong was this throw in down in the second half, but they had a wonderful game. Really, really good.
Well, for Shamrock Rovers, it is a tough evening. The club is going wonderfully overall at the moment. Of course, the league champions, the cup finalists, beaten by Dundalk in that cup final, but still a decent season for them. The under 17s getting to the final, and while it hasn't been their night, it's still very much in their hands, isn't it? Their careers, their lives, everything. They have so much to look forward to. Wouldn't you love to be 17 again?
Oh my God, yes, I would absolutely love it. And it's all changed now. It's great to see that the Oisin Hand, the captain, giving out the medals to his players as well, and I'm sure the same can be said when Gavin O'Brien does it for the winners. But yeah, they have huge careers to look forward to. As I said, this isn't going to make or break them. This is just another stepping stone along their journey that they're going to take in this wonderful game, and that is football. And some will go across the water, I'm sure. Some will go further afield. Some will stay and play in the domestic game. But having said all that, they were all wonderful players who have done really, really well to complete a season today.
A wonderful moment for Gavin O'Brien, the Bohemians captain. He's led his team to victory this evening. A small crowd in tonight. But wait until you hear the noise when he lifts that trophy, which he will do after he presents the medals to his teammates. Len O'Sullivan, very, very solid tonight. He did incredibly well.
I hope this sticks now in terms of when this all ends, that the captain gives out the medals to the players. I think it's a wonderful moment for the captain to be able to share this moment with his team, rather than just anybody just giving him a medal. I think it means a lot more to the players. It would mean a lot more to the captain as well, being able to do that, and a wonderful memory to have going forward. So I'd love to see this stick.
And thank you for watching tonight, no matter where in the world you joined us from. I hope you enjoyed it. You particularly enjoyed it, I imagine, if you were wearing the black and red of Bohemians. Gavin O'Brien, a very, very solid and decent prospect, like everyone else that you're seeing in that picture at the moment. You can see a lot of traits of his manager in him, actually, Gavin O'Brien.
Well, you certainly can. The way he runs, the way he tackles, everything.
So here we go. He'll present himself with the medal, which is an odd experience. Here we go. Gavin O'Brien, the Bohemians captain, joins his teammates. Gavin O'Brien, the captain, lifts the trophy. Bohemians are the SSE AIRTRICITY League Under-17 champions for 2020. It has been a tough and strange year for everyone, but it is nice to end it with some silverware. That's the only present these guys wanted for Christmas, and they've got it.
It's wonderful to see, isn't it? It's just like for them to come this far, under-17s, where they thought that the season was over. Full credit must go to the FAI, must go to the clubs, must go to the players themselves to get to this stage, and a wonderful spectacle tonight to see a 2-0 win for Bohemians. It's absolutely fantastic.
Nice as well that one parent or guardian was allowed in. They couldn't have both because the rules just wouldn't allow it, and at that age you do have to have a guardian with you or a parent, and well, I'm sure they're proud, whether they're watching here in the stadium or watching over in the stand. As we look across, you're looking at the team celebrating.
Well, that's the good thing about it though, Oisin, is that they're able to watch it. They're at home and they're able to watch it, and they can show their it's going to be up now. They can watch it themselves when they go home and see their performances on telly, probably some of them for the very first time. And it's great, like brothers and sisters being able to see them, cousins, aunts, uncles. I'm sure they all tune in to see them, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And the celebration, hopes that's not champagne now as a teacher talking here.
It's water. It's water. I can guarantee you that. Sam Hearn in the middle of them all, getting the photos. Those are photos that they'll want to hang on for, or want to hang on to forever. Well, it's been a great couple of years, I think it's fair to say, for Bohemians, and the fans will be delighted that there's some good talent coming through, as is the case with Rovers. It just happens that Bows have won tonight, but
we've talked about the player pathway system already, but some clubs do it better than others, and I have to say, I have to tip my hat to Bohemians. They've brought through some really, really promising players. You mentioned Danny Grant beforehand. He was signed from Leinster Senior League. It's not the fact that he came through the Bohemian system. What a really classy touch for him to write a goodbye message to the fans. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and as I said, there was another player that left Bohemians only a couple of days previously, and there was no thank you there. And it just goes to show the quality of the individual to be able to do that. He knows where he came from. He came from Bangor Celtic in the Leinster Senior League, joined Bohemians at under-19s, and worked really, really hard and got himself across the water. It's just brilliant. But it's not just Danny Grant. There's been others as well that have gone up through the system at Bohemians and St. Kevin's, and I think we forget that Bohemians have a great relationship with St. Kevin's, and St. Kevin's have done marvellous things for football in this country. They've brought in the likes of Robbie Brady, Jeff Hendrick up into international football, and they're stars of the international scene. And we have players now that hopefully will emulate them going forward, and we have one here now in Collie Conroy. He had a marvellous game today. And well, Derek Pender gets absolutely soaked by his. Well, it's not Derek actually. It's no, wait, that's what I was thinking. No, absolutely not. It was Rory Kirk actually. Yeah.
want to take on Derek. Right, that's about it from you and I, Conan. Thank you very much. I know you won't be here tomorrow night for the under-19s because you've got a Mid-Ulster Cup game, but we will be joined by Paul Ozam. Bohemians will look to make it 2 in 2 nights because they're up against St. Pat's. That is tomorrow night, though. Let's stick with now for the moment. And Jamie is joined by one of the heroes of Bohs, and they've got a couple of trophies with them.
Well done, sir. The Under-17 League trophy beside you, Man of the Match award in your hand. Congratulations. How does it feel to be a champion and the Man of the Match in the final, Colin?
Yeah, it's just great to get over the line in the end, especially after losing last year's and Under-15s as well. Like, just to get over the end after a tough year and all with the COVID. You didn't know if it was going to end, and then eventually to get over and get to the final and get a good win over Rovers. What do you think of the game? Your trophy's about to be stolen by your goalkeeper. What do you think of the game overall? Yeah, we got a good start, and that's kind of the biggest thing in football. Like, if you hit the blocks running, then towards the end Rovers put it up to us. We were sitting back, but like players going off injured, cramp, because that's all due to COVID, not training properly. But you know, we dug in at the end, and that's all that matters in a final. Yeah, from your own point of view, you've been with the club for a couple of seasons. You were with St. Kevin's before that. The link is working really well, and you mentioned about the couple of finals that you've lost, but to win one tonight is very, very sweet. Yeah, no, it's a great feeling in the end. Just all the hard work throughout the season with Detzer and Rory and Caffo and everything to get over the line after the 2 finals. Just brilliant feeling. Now, I know young lads love their photo, so go and jump in with your team. Well done, congratulations. That's the man of the match for tonight, and he's going over to celebrate with his team. There he goes. He's been welcomed over for their trophy presentation, or their trophy picture. Instagram will be flooded with the young Bohemians players tonight. That's it from us here at the UCD Bowl. Thanks to Oisin Langan and Conan Byrne as the lads pose for the photos. As Oisin mentioned, the Under-19 final here tomorrow night at 7:30. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock. It's Bohemians against St. Patrick's Athletic with Oisin Langan and Paul Ozam. And on Wednesday at 3 o'clock down in Athlone Town Stadium, we have the women's Under-17s final as well between Shamrock Rovers and Cork City. So loads more to come on FAI TV. We'll chat to you then. Have a good night, and congrats again to Bohemians.